Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 811, powered by NZXT. That's right, the Gogsler's still broken. I'm scared to touch any button on it, so we're gonna treat it gently. I'm a gentleman, so I'll be gentle, except while I'm yelling during this intro. My name is Janet Choa. Joining me, as always, co-captain of the ship, Jeff Grubb.
If I break up during this podcast, it's because Skull Island Rise of Kong just unlocked on Steam. I'm downloading it. I don't care. It's worth it. Here we go.
That's right. That's right. It's Peter Jackson's own Kong Skull Island.
P-Jack back on his game tip. Here we go, everybody.
That's right. Is this a P-Jack joint?
No.
No.
Well, maybe. I don't think so.
Aficionado and number one P-Jack fan, Jeff Bakalar, is also here.
Well, that's not true, but I am here. How's it going?
You got a problem
everybody?
with P-Jack?
I don't think so. I think like Get Back was very hard to follow, and it was just like, I'm gonna let this documentary footage just go without really editing it for a very long time. I don't know. I didn't think
that was him, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was like the best. But other than that, you know, I don't know. I don't give a shit about Lord of the Rings either, so
and
maybe I hate him.
Finally, to break the tie on whether or not this website likes Lord of the Rings, hates Lord of the Rings, or continues to be ambivalent about Lord of the Rings, Bailey Myers is also here.
Hello. Do I now need to give my opinion about Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I think we're kind of split dead even.
You were there.
I saw the movies when they came out in theaters. I only saw them once, but I had an Aragorn poster in my room. I enjoyed Rings of Power's first season, but I did guess who the bad guy was from the second he appeared on screen, and I felt very proud of myself. And then the last time I interacted with Lord of the Rings was playing the Gollum game, so Lord of the Rings can suck my butt.
Okay, all right.
I think it's the appropriate position. I full-heartedly agree with everything she just said.
Should I watch Rings of Power? The
first season was good, but then they were talking about how they were going to do it without writers during the strike, and I was like, that show?
Jeff Bezos can write it. He'll go in there. He knows what to do.
Bailey, I called upon your expertise to grace us with your presence on this podcast for one reason and one reason alone, other than, you know, we always need a fourth person, and this is your not busy week.
I know you don't have another fourth person available of any value.
Not a person, a Disney adult maybe. But
Jesus Christ.
See, that's why we keep her around. It's just a little jabs everywhere. We need someone to get a little stab. We got someone to stab.
It's about time someone took Minotti down a peg or two, let me tell you.
Bakalar, you watch it, she'll stab you too.
Tell you anything you want to know about Disneyland. You don't need anyone else for that.
That's right.
True.
The Goosebumps TV show. Have you seen it? What do you think of it?
Oh my God, I haven't seen it, but I do have this.
Whoa. Oh, cool.
It's the puppet or ventriloquist. What are they called?
Ventriloquist dummy.
Yes. It's a dummy mask that she's holding for audio listeners.
The thing a lot of people don't realize about Slappy is that the first book he appears in, he isn't even the bad guy. It's a totally different, separate dummy. So, and then Slappy shows up later and it's unrelated.
So Slappy's just like they're like observing the stories. What's his position in that book?
I am pretty sure that, I mean, like later he becomes sort of a like spooky, like Annabelle of the Goosebumps universe, like sick. Conduit to evil, etc., etc. But in the first book, he's just a second dummy that one of the characters buys because the main character's annoying sibling found a different dummy in the garbage, and they were like, "I want a dummy too."
I was always too spooked as a kid to read any of the Goosebumps books because I was a little scaredy cat, and I've been on a big.
Well, look at you now! You're so brave.
I pretend to be. It's all a work. And also, if I pile myself with other people that are more scared of the ghost game than I am, it'll make me look brave by association.
Oh, I was very brave. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I've been on a big tip of rereading old books that I missed as a child. Hence the Anamorphs books. Guys, I'm 10 books in.
Really?
I feel like I should eventually record something. But let me tell you, these books are legit insane.
Yeah, go places, right?
In like a good insane, where it's like, maybe everyone should read this book and realize it's more than just these weird covers about kids turning into animals. It's a lot of fucked up shit, especially given the current climate of things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. They go places. There are people who become trapped as animals forever. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on in those things. I like Goosebumps, where things are normal and people's dads just turn into plants or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Lots of garbage dummies.
Hold on. Anamorphs? Min-Max is trying to promote an Anamorphs podcast? What?
Wow.
Oh, really? What?
Stolen valor.
What?
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What? Ben Hansen, you polite man. You polite man. Congrats on your child, you. I'm watching you.
But at the same time,
Sarah, watch out. Leo, watch out. Janet, watch out. Everyone else at Mid-Max, watch out. Dan, you live near them. Watch out.
Let's record something. Let's get out ahead of this.
I'm recording it now. Forget games. Guys, in book 1, let me tell you, the main kid of... Oh, we don't need to talk about Animorphs right now. Goosebumps, scary books, scary games. It's Halloween season. How is everyone else doing?
Good.
I'm incensed right now.
I know, I can see that. You'll be fine. I think I've got a fun project that I'm trying to put together for Halloween and the Halloween spirit and the spooky season. I recovered an old CRT television from my parents' house a couple months ago. Ooh. It is a black and white, like little, maybe at best 13-inch CRT with like a bunch of like Sesame Street stickers riddled all over it. Like literally could not build a more time appropriate prop. And I want to get like, I want to broadcast on Halloween. I want to put like Beetlejuice on it and like put it outside as like set dressing for Halloween. I'm trying to like figure it all out, and that's my little project right now. Do you have like a
VCR you're gonna hook up to it, or
no? What? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get like a UHF to coax adapter.
Okay.
And then do like an HDMI to coax a thing out of a laptop.
You know what you should do?
Tell me, because I'm about to make purchases.
Well, this is the insane thing that you should do. You should set up your own pirate, like TV, like old style television thing.
Yeah.
Those things, those are definitely parts of the spectrum that are being used by like more important things right now.
Sure.
But just do a small little
but it's gonna look like shit anyway. Like I don't. Is that what you're trying?
It's not about looking like shit. This is just like it'll be fun to run a pirate TV
to do it wirelessly.
From your garage,
I guess. So how do I do that? How do I broadcast like a micro? Okay, chat and callers and listeners and everyone else who hears this message. Yeah, right. How do I make a small pirate radio broadcast with like the range of say 10 feet?
Well, because like back in the early days of the iPod, I had like the radio broadcast thing. You would plug into the jack on that, and then you could tune into it on your radio in the car because it didn't have the ports or whatever. So I wonder if there's like some similar things you could do with video. Yes.
I promise there is.
Yeah.
Will it? The question
Radio
is.
Shack.
Yeah, I'll just do that. Question is,
yes,
would that be more expensive than the current solution?
Almost certainly, yes.
Yeah. So, I'm not trying to like really make this
just take quadruple it out of the Mike Minotti budget. What are you talking about? That is true. Making a project for Giant Bomb.
That is true. Well, Bailey helped us do that today, so maybe put that money towards some good use. Thank you, Bailey.
That's right.
Anytime.
So yeah, I think it's a cool little trick. I want to do that. That'll be a nice little spooky thing. Have it play on repeat.
I like that a lot.
That'll be fun. Like realistic static, realistic tracking issues, because they're actually there.
Because it's actually happening, yeah.
Which is dope. So I'm excited.
Grubb, how's everything? Do you want to share a Cinnabon perhaps? Because I just got a coupon for one.
I haven't had Cinnabon in a while. I would go for that. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of cinnamon rolls. That's good. We went to get our pumpkins over the weekend, and then we stopped at the farm right next door because they put farms right next to each other. And this is the one that has the apple cider donuts and apple cider. And I got some of that, and that's good eating. Apple cider donuts. I always it's never like the first thing that pops in my mind when I think of a donut, but I think they're the ones I'm the most happy with when I'm eating them. Like, this is a satisfying donut. I like fall stuff, like fall outdoorsy stuff of like, oh, the kids want to go get pumpkins. I'm like, oh, that's a good excuse to go out and just put on a scarf and be outside. So yeah.
Scarf?
Yeah, you know.
You're not wearing a scarf.
Can I still assume?
I like the idea of it.
You'll never wear a scarf, Jeff Grubb. You simply don't require it.
Okay. I'm going to say that Jeff Grubb will probably wear the Big Lebowski cardigan that he's wearing, right?
Yeah.
He'll don a scarf on for the season, but this man will still be wearing shorts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Literally right there, right now.
Look at that thigh meat. Yeah, look at that.
That's right. Look at that sweet thigh meat. That's how I drove the kids to school this morning. 100%. Still shorts.
The best weather's now. Okay, suck it up, suck it in, let it wash over you.
Hoodie and shorts weather
you
is
almost had a bar, Bakalar. You almost had a bar.
I know. Look, if this was 20 years ago, I would have finished, but I can't now because my brain's broken. And I'm a dad.
You heard everybody. Bakalar's too old to finish.
Too old.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You had ended it with blah 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 blah. Let me begin, and then just we ended with swag, right?
Swag.
Yeah, look, now I know better for next time, which will never happen because I'm simply not cool enough. But I'm very excited. I just don't know if I can get on board with you, Grubb, with the shorts. I think shorts and a hoodie, like I think I was more like joggers and hoodie situation. The shorts,
yeah, I'm also doing that, but
you're sending messages that I'm just not ready to send myself.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm not proud of it. I'm definitely not proud of it. Like, this is not, I'm not going out there and saying this is how people should live their lives. That's true.
I think you should be saying that. I think we should promote more mobility for people.
Yeah.
And pants are just too restrictive. You got to get that knee meat out there.
If we're in our punching down era, you got to be mobile. You got to be able to move fast. You want that thigh meat out there for aerodynamics.
It's just like when I see like a dad rocking the hoodie and shorts, like especially at the ice rink at like 7 a.m. on a Sunday.
all the time.
I'm just like, my dude, it's okay.
Swag.
It's okay. I know for a fact you are very, very cold right now. There's no possible.
No, I'm actually not cold.
I guess anymore. I guess certain people hit a point in their lives where like blood simply does not flow below the waist anymore. Therefore,
Listen, that point was 250 pounds. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's like Fat Bear Week or something. I keep hearing this. Am I late on the meme?
I actually do think about doing the polar bear swimming stuff.
I
consider it. Like Lake Erie's right there. I drop my kids off, and then there's like this hour period where I can either sleep or I could go jump into a body of very cold water. I'm like, ooh, what do I do? And guess what? I always choose go back to get in bed for a little bit. So
that's not what I would have guessed.
Yeah, I know, surprising. The man in the hoodie and the shorts.
Hibernation.
I think I will.
Your circulation.
I will try it. This is the one good thing about being on like podcasts and stuff is if I like make a declaration, people like hold you to it, and then it's like, it's content now. So.
Right, Jan?
I'll find some excuse. nice haircut, by the way, Jan. And so I might like commit to that and jump into the Lake Erie before like Bombcast next week or something like that. We'll see.
Okay, right before the podcast, go for it.
So it's approaching beanie season up here in the Bay, right? Appropriate beanie season. So I've been donning the beanie back again, and everyone that I run into is like, "Oh, you look normal now," and I think it's because. They can't see my shaved ass head.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I got used to it so fast. Like that, by the end of that night, I was like, this just looks like Jan.
That's what I'm saying.
As soon as you told me you were going to do it, if you didn't finish the game on time, I became used to it. I was like, all right, it's happening. I accepted it in my heart. I never believed in you for even a second. So it gave me a lot of time to really adjust.
He did beat it.
I did do it though, Bailey. I did do it.
But like
then what was even the point, Chan?
Mm-hmm.
I think look, like I can identify, right, as someone who like covers their head more than not, right? I think it's like your default position, that's like your avatar. That's what people expect you to look like, normal, like as you spawn. So that's okay. You owned it and you look great.
Bailey, a quick question for you. This isn't the mic check question because this is just we're in the dang
It
show
would be
now.
wild to do the mic check now.
Yeah, we're Fader Black, everyone. How do I kill 6 hours around LAX before a wrestling event?
Oof.
Is there good coffee around there?
There is not much around LAX. Like, do you mean in the airport or like
you
leaving?
might find some pretty cool crime.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sick.
I mean, it's mostly just budget an hour to get wherever your destination is, obviously. But I would say if you want to kill time, you want to do it closer to your event than to the airport.
Okay.
Is there like I was gonna say a car rental thing like Uber, like you do one of those, get a car and just go driving around. But that's LA.
You don't
want to
do that there, man.
Okay, can you rent like a dirt bike or something and go like riding up the pier? Is there an LA pier? I don't know.
You are
romanticizing
my ability to ride a motorcycle and Los
I just
Angeles.
imagine you be the kid from Terminator 2 and stuff. That's what I want.
Yeah, my big secret is I don't fly out of LAX unless I desperately have to because I find it miserable. I do Burbank every time.
Yeah. Bob Hope's not great, but his airport's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's
the
the
Guy
secret,
Fieri
right?
restaurant.
Yeah. Burbank's the one that I was like very excited when I realized how much better that was to fly in and out of.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like someone's living room when you're in there. It's
that's
cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not an airport. I'm just your friend's house that has planes outside, and you're like, all right, this is a long house. Why do you have a Guy Fieri restaurant in it? That's awesome.
Oh, look at one of those little ladder or one of those little staircases. That's a car. I like that. Like that, you actually get to do that at the Burbank one and like walk across the tarmac. I feel fancy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bob Hope and there's John Wayne, right? John Wayne is Santa Ana. Okay, never mind. Anyway, I was saying all this to lead up that LAX occasionally feels like a dystopian society, just like Cyberpunk is.
Whoa. You say dystopia, I say utopia?
Really? You want to
Okay.
go hang out at LAX?
I just wanted to yes and a little
sure?
bit there.
I don't know if disagreeing is yes anding, but I like where your head's at.
I think it is. It absolutely is. It's a form of it. Look it up.
It's closer than just saying no.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't stop the
True.
conversation. I kept it
Step in the
going
right
with
direction.
I kept it going with something impossible.
I'm proud of Bakalar.
Thank you,
We're not
Good.
only in our yes and
it
era.
is a utopia. I've played so much Cyberpunk, and I think everything that happens in that game is good for society.
Well, now that's half the show in agreement.
We're in our yes and punching down era, so it's
That's right.
I think Grimes should be named Lizzie Wizzy, and that's how it's a utopia for me. Everything else, whatever. But that's my political stance: is Grimes' name should be Lizzie Wizzy.
Bailey, you've been playing Cyberpunk. I've also been playing Cyberpunk, and I've been having a hell of a time. Are you starting fresh, or are you going straight into Phantom Liberty?
Here's the thing: the Honest Game trailer for it is coming out in 23 minutes. So I have at this point reached the credits on Phantom Liberty, although there's more to it than that. I started it when it came out 3 years ago because I thought it looked cool. Plus, my real human roommate, her face is on one of the billboards in there, and I wanted to find her. So that was my goal when it came out 3 years ago. And I found her, and then I was like, "This is not a very fun game," and then I uninstalled the game. And so I was starting it fresh with this, and I was really devoted to spending my every waking minute playing it, and I was having a great time. And then I went into the hospital for an eye injury, and then I came back, and then I played more. And it interrupted my timeline on it, but anyway, I'm great. I'm so good. I stared at something too hard and got an eye injury. Anyway, I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk.
Well, that seems good.
Bailey,
Everything all right? Everything okay?
I'm so good. The hospital is really nice, you guys. We have great insurance.
Oh, that's good to know.
All right.
So my experience with Cyberpunk is the hospital's really nice in real life.
Bailey, can you take your earplugs off just real quick?
Mm-hmm.
We should,
like, for real. Yeah, go ahead.
We should get her the cheesiest Gunner Optic glasses.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
have them. I think I have them somewhere.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
We should get her pro gamer glasses because I feel like this isn't the first time I've heard of this happening.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I'm also a proponent of talking.
That's yes-anding.
I'm such a proponent now of telling someone that's live on the show to take their earphones off and talking mad shit about them.
Just tell me in the chat when I can put it on because I'm trying to read lips and it's not working.
Okay. Put it back on. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So that sounds like a great plan.
That sounds like a great plan.
I got a very painful injury, but Cyberpunk's a very fun game.
Wait, what's making it fun this time around for you?
It doesn't have any game. Well, it doesn't have game breaking bugs. It still has bugs.
Oh,
like
so
there
was getting in the way for you last time. You're like, this isn't worth it because it was breaking so often.
It was breaking so often it was borderline unplayable, and there were just mechanical things that hadn't been optimized for like human enjoyment at that point. But in this one, you can load yourself up with so much enhancements, and you can just like kill a bunch of stuff and feel like such a badass. Anytime I run into a bug, I only do it on stream. Apparently, when I was doing it by myself, I was having the easiest fucking time getting through the game. But when I was streaming it, I accidentally got into a motorcycle accident because I was like, I don't need a helmet. And then I got hit by a car and flew off the car. And then the police officer who hit me got really mad and started shooting. And then every cop in the area was chasing me around this like memorial. And I was like, I don't know if this is how this part's supposed to go. But it was a lot of fun. So even though it was a bug, I wouldn't even consider it like a negative because I had a blast being like, I don't know why this is happening. And it was great. It was so much fun. The story was good. I right now cannot for the life of me tell you whether or not Idris Elba was trying to do an American accent. I think no. Hard to say.
It's so confusing because in like the ad that came out when Phantom Liberty came out, he's just Idris Elba. He's not even his character.
He's like more British in the ad than he is in the game.
Yeah.
But I was like, when I was putting together a script, there's a whole section in the script where I'm like, can someone tell me the answer to this? Because I was watching so much footage from the game and then so much footage of him in interviews and then like footage from The Wire. And I'm like, there's a whole spectrum of what's happening here.
I think his American accent exists on a spectrum. I think that's the truth. It's like, he can't key it in that well.
No, so
and it's kind of fun.
His best American accent is him as Knuckles.
Oh, sure,
yes. Oh, gosh.
And Knuckles, famously American. He's from Pittsburgh, actually. So,
yeah. See the hands on that guy?
I think that tracks.
He's got the vibe.
Yeah, that dude watches football so much on Sundays.
Yeah, definitely. Defends Ben Roethlisberger in a really problematic way. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Knuckles is your problematic friend. I've also been really enjoying Cyberpunk. I thought I'd kind of bounce off of it because like it's another big-ish open world. And I kind of wanted to just fire up Phantom Liberty because everyone was so high on Cyberpunk. And I mostly just wanted to see like a homie that is a character in the game. I was like, just want to see Susie, and then we'll just get out of this game. And then continue playing the game. I'm like, wow, it really is viable in this game for me to just punch everyone in the face. And I don't know. It's just very. I don't mean to continually compare it to Starfield or anything, but like
but please
in a world where Starfield has promoted so much autonomy over the player to do and play as you like, it hasn't necessarily delivered on those aspects for me, at least. I know there are people that have enjoyed their time with the game and have beat it multiple times. I'm very curious as to why people need to beat it multiple times. But if you can get through the initial slog of the intro of Cyberpunk, because I do admit it is very, very slow. And once you finally...
and you're saying they haven't done anything in like...
Well, I don't know.
I mean to get back to this, right? Because this like Phantom Liberty, like it's got me going.
If you jump right into Phantom Liberty, you're not going to have that problem, is my understanding.
No, I'm going to restart the game.
If you're going to, you could restart and you can jump right into Phantom Liberty. But you can do that.
So I guess
but you have to do a bunch of like main quests.
Oh, you do?
Before you can.
Oh,
they
I didn't know
need
that.
you to level up a little before you get there, but. It doesn't take you that long. I mean, I, again, was out with an injury for 2 straight days, and I still managed to get there and get through a significant portion of Phantom Liberty in time to write a script about it.
Well,
so
you are a
if I can do it,
gamer.
anyone can.
You're the real gamer here.
If I can do it, anyone can.
No, I know you wrote that script, and just so you know, everyone, I have no jokes in this video. But also,
it was nice you tried to contribute, though.
Yeah, I just kept saying access denied. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, all I could ask you all, right? Like, what I need to know is, I've heard a lot of stuff about the fact that, like, oh, the quality of life, sort of changes are like noticeable out of the gate. Am I going to notice a thing? I mean, it has been 2 years since I played this game, but like, am I going to notice that tangibly if I just respec the whole thing and like start all over? Like, you think I'm going to be
right
like
away, not in the first couple hours, but
not
after
even
that,
like a little stuff?
I don't think that they didn't change that much. The beginning is the beginning of the game. That is what that is. If you're doing that again, then it's going to be pretty similar to your experience last time.
It's just been too long since I played. I have to restart it.
Yeah.
The AI is just the AI is better. The fighting is more satisfying. I can't put into technical terms what it is they have done, but they have taken a game that was at best kind of boring before and turned it into a legitimately fun gameplay experience that like works. And again, I'm also going back to back with this with Starfield. So like the comparison was just brutal, honestly. I immediately uninstalled Starfield. Like, oh, I'm never playing this again. I've got a new favorite game. And this was never even one of my favorite games. It's a game that runs well, is very compelling, and it's just a great time. Like, I honestly would recommend it to anyone who likes a single player RPG.
Yeah, also, I think it feels like a proper follow-up to like that Fallout era of stuff. At least Phantom Liberty, yes.
It runs great on the Steam Deck, by the way. It has Steam Deck specific settings if you just want to plug away. I wish, and this is a selfish desire here, and this is just me wanting to live out my Mega Man Battle Network dreams. I wish the Steam Deck had like an Ethernet cord that like retracted back into it that you could just pull out.
Sure,
Oh God,
jam
that would
into
be so
shit.
Good.
Yeah, like an actual Cyberpunk deck. Like that makes a lot of sense. I would like that a lot.
Forget all this like magnet charging, touch play charging crap. I just want to be able to jack in everywhere. All right,
don't
have
we
it be
all?
You want to be able to do what everywhere?
You heard him.
He wants to jack in everywhere
and jack off. When he's done.
Okay, I'm not gonna yes and that. I'm gonna punch that joke down. Cannot be disparaged. Also, hey, Cyberpunk, you listening? Can we be in the game? Can you put me in?
Are you
please?
talking to
everyone
a game?
else is in the fucking game. Hello.
Yeah. Trying to talk to a video game?
I'm trying to talk to the game. Andy Cortez.
Cyberpunk's listening right now.
Andy Cortez does this all the time. Uses the plat.
Andy Cortez is in that game. They made him look like a dildo though, and they put him everywhere. So
put your boy in. Put your boy in. Hey. I'll cut the. No, I'm not going to cut the check.
You've been in games. I don't have
money.
Come on.
I don't have money.
What else do you want?
If you're going to be put in the game, they have to pay you, Jan. They have to cut the check to you.
That's why I stopped saying the catchphrase. That's what we're doing.
I don't necessarily need to be in Cyberpunk. What I do need is for this thing that I just got in Cyberpunk to be put in me in real life, because I just installed that thing that make me do a double jump. And I'm like, can we put that in my legs, my real human legs? That would be so sick.
So
I would use that all the time.
You know what, though? I'm with you, Bailey, but also not, because I feel like I can't jump that high as it is. What can I jump? Like,
it'd be 4 feet instead.
Oh, you think it'd be like
what are we doing?
It's impressive.
Double
can you
jumps
imagine?
When your first jump is 24 inches, then it's like, well, shit, now I got 4 feet I'm working with. But like, I can't jump that high.
Not a big vertical leap.
I'm not
going to make the joke this time. I'm not going to make the joke.
That if I could get up there, I would the crashing down, like the double jump legs would not support my ankles enough to keep me from breaking them.
No,
That's
you
got
to think about the rest of the world being able to support it as well, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Coming down.
Forget it. The world's not built for double jumping. You know?
I don't think the world is built for jumping.
You're not supposed to jump around the world. Like
that's
society.
what makes this a dystopia.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the political plight that the song "Jump Around" was about. It's like they wanted to do that. The world didn't support them. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's why pogo sticks never took off. Those moon shoes never took off.
That's right.
That's why they keep bounce houses as houses and not bounce towns. Can you imagine a whole town where everyone's just bouncing around? That's why Slam Ball got taken off the air, because big gravity
Pretty sure it's back.
didn't want it around, kicking around. We need to
Gravity is the worst thing that we have to deal with. I agree.
Fuck you, John Mayer. You heard me. We need to bring
not
back.
his best song.
No, it's not his best song. What is? Nah, I don't want to talk about John Mayer. Anyway,
you brought him up.
I know, but then I'm not going to yes and it. I'm going to instead ask Bakalar and Just Grubb about their time in Modern Warfare 3 and if their body was a wonderland while they were playing it.
Well, that goes without saying, of course. Of course it was. Bakalar, I played a little bit of this, maybe like an hour and a half. And it's cool to be back in those maps from Modern Warfare 2 from forever ago. That's neat. I don't know. I don't know if I'm still like Call of Duty enough.
Again, skill issue comes into play is what it sounds like.
It's the skill of enjoying Call of Duty is pretty low these days for me. I agree. I think I was having an okay time, but I used to play Call of Duty so much. I like the Modern Warfare 2 that these maps come from. I played that game for easily more than 1,500 hours. I think maybe I just got my fill, and going back, like there is no going home. But I don't know. How are you finding it? You are still enjoying Call of Duty a lot these days.
Well, no, that's not true. I just go back to it when it comes out. Like I have not played the most recent Call of Duty in.
This guy is not improving well today.
In 8 months.
That's not true. You're a liar, Jeff Grubb, and fuck you.
Yeah, but I continued talking. I wasn't like back to you, Grubb. Like it wasn't like that. Come on. Do we need like? Listen. Here's what's happening. I get excited when the new ones come out, and the demo just now, the beta, whatever it is, it got me back excited. Like I think I think there is something going on with maybe a bit of how it's streamlined again. Now this is what happened the first time with the beta in last year's game, where I was like really won over with stuff, and then you get into the real thing, and you're like, oh my god, this interface is like completely mishmash. You can't digest it. It does not have any sort of visual vocabulary that makes any kind of sense. I don't know if I'm like loading up a multiple. It's very difficult to navigate through all that.
You know, the beta was like, I'm downloading all of Call of Duty. I'm like, wait, I thought I was just getting the beta. It's like, no, the beta is inside here, so you got to go next to Warzone. And it's like, it's confusing.
So
why are they
dumb,
still doing this?
Because it's like a Call of Duty, like it's almost like a launcher, right?
It's a
like
platform, yeah.
Yeah, and like you have to like inject Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 inside of the. I don't want to go down that analogy.
You want to jack in Call of Duty?
Yeah, okay, you said it, not me. And that's frustrating in its own right. But when it comes to like the moment-to-moment play, I did find myself like really enjoying that. I think what happens with these games is, it's tough to like figure out if I'm gonna get into that loop, and the satisfying loop where like I'm into the weapon level progression, I'm into the player progression, I'm into all that leveling up stuff. I don't think you can sniff that out in a fair way based off the beta, right?
Yeah.
So
at least not since like the original beta for Call of Duty 4, where it's like, okay, clearly this stuff is working because everyone in the world was going gaga for it. Now it's like, is this a new variation on that's gonna click with me? It's impossible to tell in the beta. I agree.
So I played maybe 10 matches, and I was like, yeah, I'm feeling it. Some of the idiot freak friends played, and they seem to enjoy it. So I have a very unique set of prerequisites, of requirements that need to be checked for this type of game. It's unique to me and my stupid asshole friends. So it has to like, grew with us for those reasons. So that's how I kind of like see Call of Duty. I graded very selfishly.
Yeah, I don't think I'm too different overall, because like the moment to moment, like shooting a person in Call of Duty is fun.
It's good.
They make it feel very like it pops. When it hits them, obviously the X, the shot mark pops up on the screen, and the sound effect is so good. The sound design is still top tier, and all that stuff is working. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe part of it is like, I know what's happening here, where this is a map pack. It's a glorified map pack that they put into Modern Warfare 2, and they're calling it Modern Warfare 3, and they're selling it again for $70. But I guess when I'm actually playing it, I'm mostly having a good time. I just have thought about that the past Call of Duties, and I've not stuck with any of them. And so I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up doing the same thing here, where I don't actually end up playing this very much, but we'll see.
It's the little things too, right? I think there's a lot of stuff that, all the best things that happen, when they all fire off in rhythm and all the stars line up, like it's not necessarily a very specific characteristic about the game. It is a lot of little things that all work together that like move the needle on an evolution of this game. So I haven't seen any of that yet in a big way, but like you said, I enjoyed those matches. That game still performs very well, and it's like, it's just airtight in a lot of ways. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I haven't played a ton of Call of Duty on PlayStation. DualSense controller for that, pretty good. They got
good.
It's pretty good. Better than most games, I would say, in terms of getting those haptics to feel like, hey, I shot something and that feels like I'm really shooting something.
Yeah.
And it's lending credence to the fun. It's like making the fun even more visceral in a way that a lot of other games don't get. They're just like, hey, you're walking, so we're going to do footsteps. I'm like, okay, that's not really doing anything for me, but here it really works.
I have a question regarding Modern Warfare 3.
Sure.
Will my Nicki Minaj carry over?
Yes, your Nicki Minaj does carry over. It's basically the same exact game they released last year. They just want $70 again. Like, hey, we'd like to have your $70. Please just give that. But all your stuff will still work.
I'll only be impressed if Nicki Minaj is backwards compatible.
So did they like, they made a decision at some point where they're just like, I think we can get away with charging full price. Like, they did that, right?
Oh,
they
yeah.
did that
conversation. So the storyline here was that this was going to be the year where we didn't get a brand new Call of Duty on the shelves, but they were going to do an expansion for Modern Warfare 2, and it was going to have Modern Warfare 3 stuff in it, and it was probably going to have these maps. And at some point, they're like, well, we have the campaign ready to go. Maybe we can just like actually finish that up and put that in a package and sell this for $70, and that's what they're doing. So yeah, they realized they could get away with it, or they think they're going to get away with it, and they're probably right. Almost certainly, this is going to sell the best. It's going to be the best-selling game of the year. So yeah.
All right.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Another game that I feel maybe a little bit overpriced is Sonic Superstars, because it was news to me in the mic check earlier that this game is $60.
That game's $60. It should not be. I've been playing this mostly because I have to, because I said I would beat it before Super Mario Brothers Wonder came out, and me and the gimmicks are making progress in it. We've been playing together mostly in multiplayer, and I don't like it very much. It's okay when I recognize what it is. It is just trying to be a nostalgic throwback with sort of slightly updated visuals. So it's 3D characters on a 2D plane. They did a pretty good job of capturing the 2D magic and feel of a Sonic character with these models. It's not as good as having actual pixels, having actual sprites, but it's pretty close, and they did a good job with that. The game itself is definitely just like, do you remember that thing? We're going to do that thing again, and we're not going to do it better. We're not. In many cases, I guess in many cases, it's mostly just as good, but it's not. A lot of that stuff that they're recapturing wasn't that fun in the first place. And the example I was using when we played it this morning on GB Plays, that video should be up for people who want to watch it, is the water level where, there's the tubes where you get sucked through the tubes and you're just going along with the currents, and you're grabbing the bars, and you're trying to move yourself around, and that stuff's okay. And but you have to get oxygen, and there's oxygen bubbles. And so, oh yeah, I remember that stuff. That stuff was really memorable. It wasn't super fun when the Genesis Sonic games did that. It wasn't terrible either, but it wasn't super fun. Like, oh my god, like every game didn't suddenly have water levels like that, because it was like, oh, that's a Sonic thing, and it's not really.
It's anxiety-inducing. Let's not terrify children.
It is anxiety-inducing, and I think that's what makes it memorable. And they do it here, and it's still anxiety-inducing. And it's fine for what it is, a nostalgic throwback. But they don't do anything on top of it. They don't do any spin on this idea. There's nothing special in terms of, here, we're presenting it in a new way. It's just that again. And then there's a couple other stages that do other things that are throwbacks to previous Sonic games, and they're not as memorable. And it just kind of all mushes together. And then there's the boss fights where, hey, you're supposed to be using these Sonic power-ups, these Emerald powers that you get. And I'm mostly not getting because the kids are just running past them and we're missing them. But I got one or two of them now, and they are basically, you just select it with the right stick, and it's something like, oh, you have a ton of Sonics running across the screen, and if they run into a boss, it'll hit the boss or something like that. And this is
cool.
It's not. There's not much to it. There's one where you can like dash with fire or whatever, and that's pretty cool. But it, like, sometimes it either trivializes the bosses or it's completely useless. That's kind of your two options there. And I'm on a boss fight right now and these boss fights are really long and dragged out, and they're not fun. And if you lose, there's no like checkpoints in the mid boss fights. You got to go all the way back to the beginning. And this is where I'm getting really frustrated with the game, where I'm like, I'm not having a good time. And you're kind of punishing me for just trying to figure out how to get through this thing, or I'm waiting for the opening to hit the boss. I'm just sitting here, hopping around the stage, avoiding obstacles until you give me a chance to actually do something here. And if I mess up one thing, I have to start the whole thing over. Now I know,
frustrating
skill issue, but other games where I'm bad at them can be fun, and this one's just not really hitting that mark for the most part. I think if this game was priced a little bit better, and you have a Sonic super fan, they're going to be mostly okay with this. If you are someone who's like come to Sonic in the past and been like, there's nothing here for me, there's definitely nothing here for you.
So I think this highlights my own problem with this style of 2D Sonic game, where it's not quite, where it's trying to mimic the original Sonic formula and not really do much on top of that. So it is just doing the old stuff. Sure, it adds some grind rails or whatever, but it pains me as growing up as a Sonic fan, because in my head, at least now, it feels more fun to jump into a Mario level and jump around and play around versus a Sonic game lately where it is just literally just get to point A to point B and remember nothing about any of the level.
Yeah,
because like the Sonic Advance games, and I won't shut up about this ever, because I honestly think the Sonic Advance games are some of the more superior 2D games close to Sonic Mania because of how much they play up the movement abilities to it. And like there's a rhythm, and it feels good to get through the level versus just trying to get there as fast as possible and not hit anything.
Yeah, and I think that there's opportunities in this game to explore the levels a little bit, and I'm pretty confused by that as well, because it's not easy to explore these levels. Going back is a challenge, not because it's challenging, it's because the game doesn't really think you're going to want to do that, so it offers no easy way to accomplish that. And sometimes you're going to be locked out of going back. The doors will close, like literally lock behind you, and you won't be able to go back. So the game's telling you, just keep running forward. But then you see something, you're like, well, that's a big, shiny gold coin that I'm going to go jump in. And obviously you're supposed to seek these things out. That's part of the fun. It's not been actually fun ever. A big part of that is the level designs are not just uninspired, they're really not helpful. I feel lost. I feel like this is the same thing wasn't I just here? It's like, yeah, it looks exactly like the thing you were just at, but it is a different place, and we're not going to give you any visual indicators to help you place yourself in this world. And the camera's too zoomed in, so I'm always feeling like I'm kind of lost in these places.
Me too, and then me too.
And then the music's pretty bad too, which is a shame because I love Sonic music. So there's some okay tracks, but mostly it's kind of once again not memorable at best and pretty bad at worst.
That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. What's also unfortunate is that you're locked into playing this until you beat it, till you can eventually check out Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which comes out later this week.
Yep, yeah, we'll be playing that on this website in some form later this week, and then probably some more stuff next week. We're interested in that because we haven't played it yet. Once we get our hands on it, we're going to look into the online like ghost sharing mode of like, hey, you can
let's share
run
ghosts.
through. Yeah, let's share ghosts. You can run through a level, and then apparently it does something like, okay, now you can send that to your friend, and they can race against you or something like that. Asynchronous multiplayer. So I hope that works really well. I hope that is conducive to some fun stuff here, because if it is, we'll do some fun stuff with it.
Grubb, one more question about Sonic before we move on to the game of the
please.
week. No online multiplayer at all.
No, so it's they do make a big deal about it being a multiplayer game, but it is couch multiplayer only, local multiplayer only. Now these days, that's a little bit less of a problem because you do have stuff like Steam Remote Play, and PlayStation has that built in as well. A like Let's Play Together, I think is what the mode is called, where you could stream the game just to a friend, and they're playing on your system, and you could play together. But that's not ideal. Like even Mike was saying, there was some lag for him. So you could do Parsec, but that's a bit above what most people are going to do. So yeah, that's a shame, but I think it's like indicative of what this product is. It is kind of low effort, They brought in this is like Sonic team working with Arzest, who was the team that did Balan Wonderworld, and they did Yoshi's New Island and a bunch of other games. They kind of just are a work for hire studio. They're gonna, I think though, because they are affordable and they do what you hire them to do. Make a game like that game that looks like that game from a distance. They will deliver that for you, no problem. It's just if you want anything on top of that, they're not going to bring any of that. They are going to check off the boxes, and that's it. So the multiplayer just being local only, not having online stuff, that feels like the kind of thing. Hey, you wanted multiplayer, but we're not going to do like net code. Are you crazy? So you get that, and as much as they made a big deal about it, this is not a great game to play multiplayer. The camera can't decide who to follow. In the middle of like doing some platforming or trying to run through obstacles, I'm running a Sonic and I'm out ahead, but Mike's like going to decide to go down over here, or the kids are exploring something else on their own, and the camera's like, oh well, I'm gonna go see what they're doing real quick. And you don't get your own camera because it's all local multiplayer. Right. So that's very frustrating. I've been dealing with it with the kids because they're having a good time and they don't care about that stuff. But most people are not going to have a great experience playing this multiplayer, I think.
That's unfortunate.
It's a bummer because, you think you want kids to like Sonic. I don't know.
I mean, that's what they keep saying. My kids do have decided that they are crazy about Sonic, and I don't know how that happened.
Hey, if it's any indicator, they'll turn out cool because I liked Sonic as a kid.
All right,
there we go.
Well, that's encouraging. That's encouraging.
Jan, that's really just that like photo of the plane with the dots on it, though, huh?
Survivorship bias, yeah, a little bit. They can get shot in the Sonic doll and still survive. So that's why we got to put the armor, protect Sonic at all costs.
That's how we're putting the heat on Bakalar today.
Nope. Guess what do you mean today? Like for a change? Is that what you're fucking implying, Jan?
I normally don't catch strays on this program because I'm very nice and everyone's nice to me back.
You don't catch
literally
strays.
said you didn't catch any strays. The image I referenced implied that you caught no strays. I don't understand.
I'm not up to date on memes.
Anyway, I'm just saying you are the one lately
those World War II memes
who has been advertising the site's new motto of punching down. I'm just saying
we're punching down at everyone else, not at each other.
Shit flows both ways, right?
Punch up.
That's all.
That's a cool uppercut.
It is.
I guess the opposite of punching down is like an uppercut.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the opposite of a shoryuken?
You eat a ball of energy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You intimidate people.
You sit on your balls or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Not where I thought we'd go.
Intimidate people.
I don't feel anything. Check this out.
Well, folks, that brings us
I'd be terrified.
That brings us to our game of the week. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. God, I need to... If someone can help me build like just a big box, like a 4x4 grid of just arcade buttons with that I can map sound effects to, I'll cut
pyro built in. Yeah.
Oh, dude, pyro. We should get pyro. Bakalar, do we have budget for pyro?
There's always a budget for pyro. I mean, come on.
There we go, baby.
To blow something up, you know what I mean? Come
on. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, the review embargo is up, and 3 of us, along with Dan, chatted about our impressions and feelings on Spider-Man 2 yesterday. We put that out on the Bombcast feed. If you're curious, check that out. Be forewarned, we may have spoiled a couple things, specific little missions.
I don't really get it.
People anything a spoiler. They got mad at me because I said the final boss fight in Tears of the Kingdom was against Ganondorf.
Yeah.
Like anything is a spoiler.
Yeah, exactly. I like
sensitive to a lot of stuff.
Yes, and it's like I get that for sure. But once people play it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this wasn't a spoiler." This is in context. None of that stuff really is gonna be a spoiler.
And then since that conversation yesterday, Grubb, you were on the money about my actual progress on the game because I immediately finished it after we had that little review roundup conversation. And I don't review games on the website, right? I just talk about them and crack wise occasionally. But if I did, I think I would give this a 5 out of 5, yo.
Yeah, I'm like right
That's
there.
Perfectly fair.
I think like this has taken like the Arkham City, Arkham Asylum spot for like favorite superhero game as well. And I think like this is definitely laid out like the blueprint of like, if you are trying to do an open world game in like a bustling city, this is how you do it, especially if you're going to take on like a big IP like Spider-Man. And the thing that makes me worried is like, you know, we have rumblings of like the Wolverine games on the horizon. There's also like the Black Panther games, if those are still in development. And I just don't know how you nail those after getting something nearly as perfect as Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And I know that yesterday we were saying it's a lot more of the same, and like the bigger bosses leave a little bit more to be desired. But it's just because I think Spider-Man's strength, and this is his strength as a character and in the video game, is these smaller moments where you're interacting with the people of New York and the city of New York versus like the wider, bigger thing. Like, I'm so tired, and this probably speaks to my own Marvel fatigue, and I'm willing to admit this as a Marvel fan, of like, I'm so fucking tired of like the world universe threatening thing. Just give me like a smaller thing of like a cool bank robbery chase.
Yeah.
And like tighter moments like that versus like these bigger, grandiose moments. Like, we don't need those. We have so many of those. I'll go watch Top Gun Maverick for the 4th time. But it just it's just so good. And like the characterization of both Peter and Miles. Bakalar, you talked about this yesterday on the little review, but like the way they nail the story in this one just absolutely sings versus the first one. And there's story bits that are recalled from Miles Morales and the original Spider-Man. GameSpot put out a lovely video recapping the whole story. Check that out. But man, Miles Morales is just such a cool fucking character.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's really cool.
He's by far the best person in the game, the character to play as. Miles Morales is fantastic in this game. I'm with you. Their relationship is very strong. It's the thing that carries the story for me. I think the specifics of the story are by the numbers for the most part. And but it didn't matter to me because I really enjoyed the dynamics of the characterization that you were talking about. That's the stuff that really worked.
Yeah. And you know, like I said this on the review cast yesterday, but if you are at all a fan of any of the Spider-Man comics, any of the runs, there's a lot of things there for you. Like one of the specific collectibles, I just spent a good 2 hours yesterday just zooming around the map, looking for little collectible ones that are little. I don't want to spoil what it is, but it's clear that someone placed them there, and they allude to different Spider-Verses. Also, man, these stupid costumes. I fucking hate all of these stupid costumes.
Oh my god! But like, I spend so much time in that menu because it's like, you know, they do all the cool. I like all the alt Spideys more than I like Spider-Man proper these days. Just
you're a
because
Scarlet Spider freak, yeah.
I'm a Scarlet Spider freak, and that hooded costume that you get like right away is just so tough to take off. And but my gosh, we talked about it on the review. There's one level that you unlock, and then below that are like the variants of that, and it's just like you are giving me what I want in a way that is like, this is the thing I want to be overwhelmed by. You know what I mean? And it's just super satisfying to unlock all that stuff.
Bailey, is there any interest at all in checking out Marvel Spider-Man 2? I forget where you land on superheroes.
100%. I am experiencing that Marvel fatigue as well. I think the fact that they're going to have showrunners now might help that for the first time. That's incredible to me. It's amazing how they might make compelling media. I don't know, but I loved the first Spider-Man, the previous one in this series, and my only question is, are you able to, in cutscenes, like pause and change the character's outfit yet? Because I kept winding up in like really dramatic cutscenes in the last one where he's like dressed like the 2D cartoon and like someone's actively dying in front of him. He's like, gee whiz. Like I was like, I don't know tonally if I can fix this, but it's a great game.
So I think the suit continuity works in cinematics, which is like always awesome.
It didn't always work for me. That's yeah. So I wasn't sure if this was a bug or not.
Because I've not noticed it not keep.
Sometimes it would stay with me, especially for like side mission stuff. Like I'm gonna go talk to this person who's sitting on a bench, and it's gonna do a small little story, and I would keep my suit on for that. Then I would get back into the main campaign, and I'm talking to Harry Osborn again, and I'm wearing the suit that the story gave me, and I'm definitely not wearing that in the main game. But when I'm actually playing it, it clicked back for me. So I'm like, is that for story important reasons, which I'm fine with. It didn't bother me too much actually, but and I might even like think it's an improvement based on what Bailey's saying, where it's like it keeps the immersion a little bit better than me being the little the stuff inspired by Spider-Verse or whatever that was in the first game. So not a spoiler.
No, it was like the retro one, like the old cartoon. So it was really distracting that someone was dying in front of me, and I was like from the 60s, like zipping around. But I do love those games, and I do think they do a good job of like balancing out what Marvel has done with Spider-Man, which I don't necessarily love. The thing I love about Spider-Man is those like small moments, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't like him as a global superhero. I don't think he really works on that scale. So having you flying around New York doing little things, helping people has always been like kind of my bag. So I'm really excited to check this one out, especially based on what everyone's saying. It sounds just really, really fun.
I think the thing that makes it really work is it leaned into its strengths, right? It's not, it doesn't, despite, I'm sorry for this pun, but it doesn't take any big swings of trying new different things. But it thwips in the direction of hey, we had some this is a fun city to explore, and so we're gonna put side quests out there, but we're gonna it's gonna be a little bit limited, a little bit fewer of those, but they're gonna be better and more robust, and they're gonna tell better stories, and they're gonna have satisfying conclusions of their own. It's like, okay, well, that's an improvement. It's not some big swing, but it's definitely better than what you guys did before. And then it's like, well, we're gonna make sure that you can we're gonna expand the map. We're gonna make sure you can get around. You can fly. Basically, you can get the glider. That's our big new thing. And it turns out that was so good that it carries a lot of like, man, I can't go back to the other ones. I need this now. So that they knew what would work, and they did that, and they made that as the best it possibly could be. And then they didn't try to mix it up with like a million other things that are going to distract you from what it's good at. And I think that's a good call.
And you know, we talked about this yesterday as well. And sorry for rehashing this if you've listened to that as well. But I do like that Insomniac stuck to their guns with their specific version and vision of Spider-Man or the Spider-Men's here versus trying to ham fist in any of the Spider-Verse stuff, any of the MCU stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
And like stay true to their visions of the characters. Something I kind of wish that they did is just freaking like get a licensed song, get like a nice hip hop song, and just like let me swing to that shit. Let me swing along to that, like a nice title card sequence. Give me some. No, not
Foo Fighters.
I'll take Imagine Dragons. Imagine Dragons.
You'll take it.
The Spider-Man 2 soundtrack still bangs. Dashboard Confessional, Vindicated. Like, are you going to tell me that song doesn't hit?
Nickelback is in one of them, right? Nickelback did do a song for one of them.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I would also prefer Chris Carrabba as Peter Parker in this version because the little boy they got doing it is not working for me. But wait, so
because I want just like a sequence where it's like,
I hear you, man.
Okay, or give me Vindicated again.
I think, look, obviously no expense was spared in games like this, so licensing music is well within the reach.
Yeah, Sony owns a music label. Like,
it's not a
one of those.
So I can't give you a reason why that's not the thing. But yeah, I mean, I think like the more I played this, and again I did since we talked about it yesterday, like I just don't see how these hooks get attached from where I'm, from this position of like how much I'm really into this, more so than even the first two. I really think this one has refined it and got that formula so perfected that this game has slid way up into my list for the year.
The fast travel system. We didn't really talk about this.
Yeah,
but
it's really impressive.
It's insane how this works. So as soon as you complete enough crimes in a region of the map, you're able to unlock fast travel.
And you'll see the progress bar. It'll have it like marked right there in the middle of the progress bar. So once you unlock that, then you can do this.
Yeah, and that counts as like the little side missions or the miscellaneous crimes that pop up. That all counts to that progression. But once you get that unlocked, you can pick any place on the map and fast travel exactly to that spot.
And when you pick it on the map, it zooms in on the map that you're looking at, and then the buildings like manifest, and then Spidey just swings right in front of the camera, and it's the fucking coolest thing. It's so cool looking.
Yeah,
that's so sick.
And like the thing is, if you don't have the means to play a PC game or whatever, and you're not a Marvel fan and you only have a console, this is a no-brainer pickup like day one, because
this is the thing that people are going to buy with their PlayStation 5s this holiday, 100%.
Like y'all know, like I didn't shut up about Spider-Man 2 the movie for like a good 2-3 months. I probably won't shut up about it for the rest of the year. This nails that Spider-Man 2, whatever it is always going to be the best one, baby.
Yeah, there's a bit that I'll talk about with you off the air where I'm like, I wonder if Jan popped for this. I
already know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, yep. So that's fun stuff. I'm wondering, Jan, you've beaten it. You got the credits. Okay.
Yes.
Are you compelled to 100% it? Because I am, and I'm not a 100% a game kind of guy. I'm definitely not a platinum trophy guy. Couldn't care less. But I'm like, man, I'm just having a fun time swinging around here. There are some stuff on the skill trees I want to keep moving. I want to keep unlocking a few more things, and it seems really, really manageable. I'm finished the game, and I'm at like 75% completion. I could probably just keep going and clear out these last few things.
Yeah, 100%. I'm also not a platinum type of dude. Bailey knows I can't finish games.
That's right.
But this one, I think might be. I think this one might be the second game I ever finished in my whole life, and 100%.
Wow.
Liza P in this.
There it is.
But yeah. Also, I don't want to. Of course, there is an after credit stinger. It's a Marvel property.
There's a couple.
Required by law.
It's required by law. If you are a spider freak or a comic book freak like me, let me tell you, boys, girls, NBs. Your boy stood up, started clapping.
I thought.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait. I can't wait.
You definitely, I think you'll be very excited about it. And there's the mid credits one, and that one's like, if you're paying attention to the story, you're going to be very excited about that as well, because it's like, okay, they're delivering on stuff you want them to deliver on and setting up pieces you want them to set up. And I'm ready and raring to go for Spider-Man 3. Like, let's do it. Let's go. Right away. I want this story. I want these characters to keep going. I want the villains to keep coming into the story. I want all the B tier and C tier villains that they always use in fun ways to come, like pop off like a million more of those. Let's go.
And wow, that's another great thing. And maybe the last thing I'll say about Spider-Man 2 is that they definitely allude to the other smaller members of Spider-Man's rogues gallery.
Yes, nice. They do a great job of that.
And in a way that like the Batman games did a really good job of as well, where it's like, hey, like here's this obscure villain from this one comic story run. Here they are. They do a similar thing in Spider-Man 2. It's really great. I fucking love this game, y'all. I tried firing up Assassin's Creed Mirage, and this isn't to disparage Assassin's Creed Mirage,
but go ahead.
That game, it's fun to run around. It's just after getting a taste of like Spider-Man 2, it's hard to go to anything else.
Jan, and you know what we should do on Friday when we are able to stream this is we should do one of those TikTok streams where you just play music and have Spider-Man swing through the city.
I've been doing that to myself.
Me too. I've been doing it too. It's like, I'm my own TikToker. Yeah, let's go.
I am swinging around in New York as Miles Morales playing Noah Khan, slowly crying to myself.
Yeah. And every once in a while, I'll just pop it off that L3, R3, and he just does that slow spin, and he's all electric. It's great. It's great.
Oh, God, Spider-Man. He's just a boy. What a great game. Anyone playing anything else they want to talk about before we take a quick break?
I finished downloading Skull Island King of Kong. So,
oh, congrats.
Yeah, we're going to be ready for that.
Oh, great. Can't wait. All right, folks. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you with the news after this. One more game to talk about is was it last week on UPF? I think it was last week on UPF. Three of us and Mike Minotti played Phasmophobia. Hey, that game is still good.
Yeah, that was just. Why does that feel like that was like yesterday? I guess it's Tuesday. All right, all right. Yeah, that
Drama
was
can
fun.
do that.
It was very fun seeing my friends get choked out by a ghost.
Yes.
I got choked out so many times by so many different ghosts, Jan.
That clip you posted, Jan, of what it was like from your perspective for all of us to be like screaming and like really scared because you left the house for a second. I watched that and cracked up. That was very funny. That was a very.
We really thought you died.
It was one of those instances where it's like, man, games proximity chat can be good, and I feel like the father of this group somehow. Despite all of you being older than me.
That's okay. If you want that, it's got it.
It's your daddy energy. What can we do about it?
Just like real life, how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the news.
Oh, news.
Let it wash over you.
Soothing news.
Wow.
I suppose that's my cue to read some news. We got a bunch of bigger stories this week. We'll talk about those. There was some smaller stuff. I think we'll probably end up just talking about this big stuff. Starting with Bethesda head of publishing Pete Hines is leaving the company. Pete Hines, who's been the head of publishing at Bethesda for a while, he's been with the company for 24 years, announced his decision on social media, saying that he wants to explore new interests and passions. He said now's a good time with them just launching Starfield. That's a long time to be with the company. I think this is just a natural sort of, it's probably time to move on. And there's probably not too much else to it, although I'm sure people will speculate. Bethesda was acquired by Microsoft in 2021, so that might make things easier to like, there's definitely going to be people here and money here to ensure that things keep going so you can leave and move on with your life. Pete Hines, I think, is always the guy that held the grudges against places like Kotaku. That was like him. He's like, hey, you reported on a game before we were ready, and I'm not going to give you video games anymore. So maybe that will stop now, but who knows? Maybe that's built into Bethesda at this point. You guys ever have any interactions with Pete Hines? Ever have a thing where you go and hang out?
A couple times. Nothing memorable, but nice seemed
dude.
okay.
Yeah, get his ass.
Yeah,
I think he's a Caps fan. So
that's right. Yes, they
good
would
luck,
be
buddy.
out there.
Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah. They had a good run.
I always get him confused because isn't there a comedian with the last name Hines as well?
Yeah,
I think Pete Holmes.
Pete Holmes.
Maybe who you're thinking of.
That's
who I'm thinking of. Very different guy, it turns out.
Yeah, well, they're both really white, so I think that's pretty close. I get that. Bethesda's going to be fine. They got a lot of games coming. I'm sure this you probably won't notice this if you're just a fan of their games. But happy trails to Pete Hines.
Yeah.
Analog is making a Nintendo 64 FPGA system. Analog, a retro console manufacturer, has announced the Analog 3D, a reimagining of the Nintendo 64. It will play N64 games in 4K resolution, support original display modes, and play legacy game cartridges. It will be released in 2024 and will feature wireless Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz connectivity, plus 4 original style controller ports. Pricing has not been announced, but it's basically like their follow-up to the Super NT, the Super, or just I guess the Analog NT was what it was before, and then they did the Analog Pocket, of course, which is the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance version of their FPGA. Now they're taking on the N64. This is a pretty cool development. It's not a shocking development because FPGA, people who aren't aware, that's field programmable gate array. It's basically a really big processor that people can go into and insert a core that tells this processor to behave in a certain way, and then it mimics how old processors worked and can behave just like an N64. The thing with the N64 is that was a bit too robust for FPGA for a while, but now there's been a lot of progress made with that with the Mister, and there's actually a core coming along there that's making a lot of progress. But it sounds like right alongside that, Analog's been working on their own core for N64 for 3 years, and it's going to have a ton of cool features. It's going to have the ability to turn off graphical features in the game. Games will run exactly like they did on the N64, but then it's going to have overclock options to run even better. So some of those games that were 20 frames per second, maybe now you can get them to 30, maybe even 60. I'm not too hopeful about that, but we'll see. I'm excited about this, except for the possibility of it being like $500.
Oh, it's going to be that. Like,
yes, it's probably going to be pretty expensive. Yeah, and FPGA processors are expensive. That's the truth. Like the Mister one, I think, is subsidized, which is why it's somewhat affordable. And even that's like $250, $300 to get started. So, yeah, I'm not expecting anything below 400 here, and probably 500. I'm a big N64 guy, so that's why I'm into this. I know N64 is kind of it's showing its age these days. It's the Atari of 3D gaming.
Wow. I don't think anyone's ever said that before, and
I don't think that's mean. I think that's completely fair.
I love it when I hear a sentence that has never been said before.
Yeah, you're just like, huh? I think that's fair. I think that's
what
fair.
They were still figuring it out back then, and I think that like a lot of those games were foundational, but you're going to play better versions of them on the very next console, right? So, maybe it's somewhere between an Atari and an NES of 3D gaming. But that I love the N64. I'll play a ton of that stuff, so I'm looking forward to this. But I don't know. Do you guys have any love for the N64?
I remember showing up to a Toys R Us thinking like, oh, maybe we can get an N64 today. My mom looks at the controller and she just says, "That's ugly, Jerome. We're not getting it."
Yeah.
Well, she's not wrong.
Who among us has not had a parent deny a console because of the shape of its weird controller?
She thought it was some perverted thing, didn't she? I bet she's not wrong either. That's definitely.
I gotta save my young Catholic altar server boy.
No, everyone knows that controller, less than average, but. I don't know, like you would think like I'm a total candidate for this to be like a very big deal for me, right? Because someone our age, Grubb, right?
Yeah,
but
I wasn't thinking that.
Okay, cool. Because I don't care. I don't care about this. I don't care. I like Nintendo 64. I don't hold that console in the high regard that my peers do, but and I am fascinated. I did get an analog NT, maybe. Is that the NES one that was doing that?
The NES one, yeah. That was like $600.
That was very expensive.
It was like very
fucking
boutique.
Left it at the CNET office.
Whoa, let's fucking conduct a heist, baby. We got to get that baby back. Come on, let's go.
I'm afraid that ship has sailed. Yeah, no. That place is no longer in existence. But yeah,
my cameras.
I know. Yeah, they do. Oh, you know what? I bet they. Okay. Well, I just had a light bulb that I need to make a note about. Mm-hmm. But that intrigued me in a way because it was like I understood. Obviously, they're treating the 64 with the same regard, right? Like they're giving it that same treatment.
Well, I mean, I don't think treating with the regard that a Nintendo console version one of these is going to perform way better than anything else they could do.
And it was that perfect one-to-one emulate, not even emulation, right? Like that, like you said,
it's not software emulation.
Right.
It is hardware emulation.
Right.
It is a piece of hardware emulating another piece of hardware. But yes, it's different.
I guess I cared a little bit more about that maybe because I had a larger fondness for the library. Where 64, I'm just sort of like, all right. And I don't think it upscaled as high as this one. I think this one is like the NT was like a 1080p situation. And this one they're saying they'll get it to 4K or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it just sounds like those are improvements being made by I can't remember the name of the guy, but they basically have a genius who works on these cores who did a ton of work on this stuff.
Yeah,
and I think they still have him plugging away at these things. And that's very cool here, and I'm excited about it. But again, I am someone who's pretty happy with software emulation at this point.
Totally. Like the Dan Reicherts of the world are gonna buy 11 of these, and
exactly.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. And I'm like, you knock yourself out. But I mean, I like having all my stuff just set up on my PC, and I can
totally
just play it over on the TV, no problem, and that's fine enough for me. And not even like it's actually almost perfect in most cases these days. So N64 is a little bit troublesome, especially with something like Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, the blockbuster exclusive video game.
Sure.
Yeah, that one actually has some trouble, but overall, most of the games are going to work just fine.
Let me ask you this: what is the whole like legality of emulating hardware? Like, how does that? So you can do whatever you want.
So if you're emulating hardware in terms of with the software emulator, perfectly legal. I think that has actually been protected as long as you're doing it in a clean room environment, right? If you aren't using any of the documentation that says this is how the chip works, you have to be in a clean room, which means you're not looking into that stuff and you're figuring it out on your own and you're reverse engineering it. For something like the hardware emulation that they're doing here, most of that's going to be covered under the same rules, but then there's going to be things like this has the N64 controller ports on the front. That's something that Nintendo might have had patented, but that patents only last for 20 years. So that it's more than expired at this point, and then it's just fair game and anyone can use it. So yeah, that's they're going to be completely in the clear here as long as they don't include any ROMs that are copyrighted. Copyright is the real thing. So, and they should be fine here in terms of that because they're not going to include that stuff.
Cool.
Bailey, any interest in revisiting a Nintendo 64 at all?
I mean, I'm really busy photographing my cat right now, but he's being so cute.
It's very cute.
I have a huge amount of nostalgia for that era of gaming. The N64 and PS1 both had a lot of games that I consider very formative for me. But a lot of the ones that I feel most nostalgic about for the N64, actually, you don't even need to emulate third party. Nintendo at this point will let you play Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye on your Switch as long as you have a Nintendo Online membership, and it plays really well. You can play Mario Party 2 for the N64 if you're sick of Mario Party Superstars.
Like, they've been making improvements to that emulation as well. It started off kind of rocky. And now this will be better than
both the Pokemon stadiums now.
Yeah.
I'm like, all the stuff that Pokemon Snap, all the ones that like I played all the time as a kid are readily available to me without me setting up finicky hardware that might explode if I look at it wrong. I just feel like I'd be very bad at I'm not a Dan. I can't fiddle with electronics and make them work. So Nintendo has made it easy for me.
These analog consoles are like the simplified, they just work mode, but they're very expensive and you're not, I know what you're saying. I think I'm in the exact same position where I'm like, yeah, I know that the software emulator is technically worse, but it's been fine and it's good enough. And I am very happy with good enough as opposed to spending a lot of extra money to get the extra 5% of like, now it's more authentic. Now I'm good.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need that authentic experience. I was like, let me think. God, it came out in 95, 96, 95?
96 is what I want to say, but I could be wrong.
Oh, kindergarten.
Fuck off.
96. Yeah.
Piece of shit.
PlayStation 1 was 95.
I'll kill you.
Yeah, I was like 5 years old when it came out.
Cool.
Like,
Moving on.
I have a fuzzy memory of it anyway. So this is my best version of playing it. It's approximately the same difficulty level of turning it on as I ask my dad to help me get the TV to turn on. That's the most challenge I can do.
I was old enough when the N64 came out to get in a fight on the bus about the N64, an actual fist fight. So there you go.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very strange too. Everyone has a weird response to this. What do you mean?
It was not my like initiation. It was like a couple like bullies being like, the N64 is stupid. Why do you like that thing so much? I'm like, leave me alone.
Damn, the console wars started early for you.
Wow.
Like, and this is like early on when the PS1 was like the cool thing, and then that. I was like standing up and then they pushed me and that's when we actually got in the fight. But the N64 was tangentially involved at that point. So
yeah, they did have all those cool ads about how like cool people play PlayStation and losers play N64.
Yes. Did you see Crash Bandicoot? The dude's wearing jorts. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's empirically cool.
Yeah.
Shaped like a Dorito.
Dorito shaped bitch.
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, please. Give me.
That's really good, Bailey. Jesus.
That's my opinion.
All right, let's see here. Disney CEO is being urged to acquire a publisher like EA. Let's see here. Disney CEO Bob Iger's deputies are reportedly pushing him to consider acquiring a major game publisher like Electronic Arts. The move would transform Disney from a gaming licensee to a gaming giant with a major third-party publisher. He doesn't want to do this, it seems like, because he's afraid of doing anything at this point. Bob Iger is very non-committal, is what all the reporting is saying.
He ain't afraid of raising the part prices.
No, he's not afraid of that. Even though he said he wouldn't do that.
Get him.
Yes. So basically this comes down to, I think Bob Iger, and Jan, I think I've had you explain this to me, Mike explained this to me, now Bailey's here, she could probably explain it as well. Bob Iger is like 100% concerned about getting the succession from him to the next person right, and that's all he's focused on, and making some big move equivalent to spending the $40 billion or whatever he did to get Fox would only complicate things. So I don't think he's interested in being the person that's going to spearhead this. That said, do you guys think as Disney fans that Disney would be better off as like acquiring a big publisher or just continuing to work as a licensee?
Work as a licensee. Like it feels like a no-brainer. Like you see Sony winning the streamer wars because they don't have a streaming platform because they're just licensing out all of their movies and series across the board. Disney, do the same goddamn thing with games. Let John Drake cook. Damn it.
Yeah. Let Drake cook. Absolutely.
Like, you know, you think about like the huge vault of IP that Disney owns and who and what they could license out. It just seems like a no-brainer of like different things to do. Like, I don't know, what's a good give the Ace Combat team Tailspin. Maybe don't, but do it.
Fucking A. Well, no, we definitely do that. That sounds incredible.
Oh my God, that'd be sick.
I would love that. Oh my God.
Like there's so many like different developers that could do a fantastic job with any Disney IP. Like it seems criminal that we haven't had a very incredibly good 3D platformer starring Mickey Mouse, right?
Yeah.
Like how is that possible? Like you have amazing games like Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, all the Mario games.
Has Epic Mickey had it sort of like, no, that was actually good? Because I never played those games.
I don't know if it had that, but I remember it being okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think more so the thing that came out of Epic Mickey was just Oswald, the character.
Getting another chance. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, okay, cool. This is the only thing we're going to monetize or talk about from this game ever. And then just see the Oswald ears across the park.
Yeah. I mean, he was around before that. You know that, right?
No, yeah. But like brought him back into prominence.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Epic Mickey, I think almost, if I'm not mistaken on the timeline of it, it's thunder was constantly being stolen by Kingdom Hearts because all the people who would have loved Epic Mickey were obsessed with Kingdom Hearts and they didn't have room in their lives for any other game. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean,
I could be totally pulling that out of my ass.
That definitely sounds right. But I think even the people who are like, no, I have enough. The only thing I love is Mickey, so I'm going to try Kingdom Hearts and Epic Mickey. I think people mostly came away from Epic Mickey disappointed. But I mean, was that licensed, or was that like part of their publishing efforts at the time? Because I know they've had fits and starts of trying to get a publishing thing going. I think the truth here is if they get a publisher, that's just not going to solve all their problems here. It's not like it's a magic turnkey solution. And now Disney's representation in gaming is growing, and it makes a lot of sense now. Like they're going to get EA. And they're going to still have to keep making all the EA sports games. And yeah, they're going to slap ESPN on there. But apparently Mike says they want to get rid of ESPN as well.
Hello, I'm sorry. There's been a lot of Epic Mickey questions. You know, that was my very first press event, was the Epic Mickey preview in Disneyland.
What ride did you ride with Warren Spector? Didn't you ride something?
I made Warren Spector ride Space Mountain with me. Well, we all went on it, but I made him sit next to me. Yeah. So that was fun. Epic Mickey's big problem was that it was just okay. It was just... it was hyped pretty heavily as both this big Mickey 3D platformer and as Warren Spector's game with all of like the immersive stuff that you expect from that. And, it was a 3D platformer for the Wii, so it can only do so much. And it had a lot of, Wii stuff like waggle and pointer controls. It was just only okay. And it was published by Disney. That was when they were going big on gaming again for a little bit there. So there you go.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll see you next time.
Well, I really liked the Aladdin game from 1992.
Yeah, the one for Super Nintendo. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Wait, really? I thought you don't mean the Genesis one?
Oh, wait. Do I mean the Genesis one?
Oh, I thought they were the same one. They weren't?
I feel like
They're
I mean the
different
Genesis one.
No, I'm talking about the Genesis one.
Fuck up, Jeff, shut the hell up. The Genesis one is so much better. God damn it.
I'm talking.
I don't care. This is for fun.
You yelled and startled me and my camera defocused. Yeah, no, I definitely meant the Genesis one. I was just a child. I didn't know the difference between the systems. I just really liked the Aladdin one.
Good music.
I like the Aladdin game.
Sure, yeah. I don't actually have a preference on the Aladdin games.
Take the RoboCops, the people making RoboCop Rogue City. It's a fantastic demo, by the way. And give them Gizmo Duck.
There you go.
From DuckTales.
But keep all of the gore.
Yes.
All of the gore.
Keep
exactly
all the gore.
Wow.
All right. All right. Microsoft has officially completed its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. This happened this past week. Microsoft acquired it for $69 billion. It's done. It's approved. They are now one company. There is like some early talks about, hey, when are our games going to start showing up on Game Pass? They keep saying, don't expect that anytime soon. Probably going to be next year for most things. There's a chance some stuff could pop into Game Pass here in the next couple of days, though. Beyond that, though, it's just, this is it. It happened. There's not much else to say. We've talked about it to death. They can begin operating as one company, though, and regulators have given their approval around the world. So that's that all wrapped up. Any final thoughts on Microsoft plus Activision?
I am so ready to fucking punt Bobby Kotick out of this.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's the
out
other
of this
side of
industry.
So he's got about 10 weeks left. It was weird because this got announced like, hey, Bobby Kotick is, the way he phrased it, I think he got away with something here where he's like, you know, Phil Spencer came to me and he was just like, baby, we need you. Can you please stay around? And he's like, so we agreed. I'm going to stay around to the end of the year. And so that's like in 10 weeks, homie. that's like a normal amount of time. That's like less than a normal amount of time for a CEO to do their exit. That's like pretty quick that you're gone. You are getting booted out of here, aren't you? And he is. That's what this is. They acquired him, and now they're getting him out here by the end of the year. And what's that like? He's not going to be working on Christmas. So by December, he's out of here. It's like a month and a half. Like no more Bobby Kotick at Activision. He's already not calling the shots anymore. So yeah, that is a small W for however people feel about the acquisition and consolidation. I think all those feelings are valid. A good thing is no more Bobby Kotick, even though of course he's getting very, very well paid for all of this.
Of course.
Do you think he's going to go to the Game Awards?
I think yes, he's going to sit front row right in the middle.
That makes sense, right?
He could be like Jack Nicholson at all the Oscars for all those years where he sat up front. Yeah, let's go like that.
Or like that one VMAs where Taylor Swift had just broken up with Joe Jonas and was singing directly to him, and he was like front row center. The vibes were off.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say as well. Yeah.
I'm always chasing the
I know
Taylor
that's your
vibes.
cultural touchstone. Yeah,
Totally.
I can relate to that conversation.
You know, my cultural touchstone for the Video Music Awards is when the guy from Rage Against the Machine climbed up on the set. That's what I remember from that.
He was raging.
Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Devs are being incentivized to bring their older titles to Epic Game Store with 100% revenue share. Epic Game Store has announced 2 new schemes to attract developers now on Epic, which offers 100% revenue share for their first 6 months for games that were previously released on other platforms. And then there's Epic First Run, which offers the same deal for games that are exclusive to Epic Game Store for 6 months. I'm like, how do those two things work in conjunction with one another? Because you definitely are going to have more success putting your game out on Steam first, and then maybe you could release it on Epic later and get 100% revenue. I guess their thinking is you'll sell more on day one if you put on Epic exclusively, and then you'll get 100% of the revenue. So I do expect some developers to take advantage of this. Does this move the needle for Epic Game Store being a viable platform in your guys' minds? I know that we're kind of at a point where it seems like it's made all of its best bets and best opportunities to take some market share, and nothing really happened there. But do you guys see that movement at all?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think like I wonder if there's a way to like take advantage of this, and then like I wonder what the sort of like agreement is from a developer point of view of like how long do you have to stay on there, like if you were to just take advantage of this kind of
for the first one I think it is 6 months officially. With the other one of like now on Epic, what does that look like? Can you just put something on Steam for a month, get those first month sales from Steam, and then immediately put it on Epic? I don't know. It's weird.
The bigger conversation, if I'm being perfectly honest, is that the Epic Game Store is currently a very bad product.
Yeah. And it has been for a while, and no real improvements recently. And
if you are investing in that platform via super favorable revenue share incentivizations, that from my position is not the way to do it. I think you fix your product. You make it. I mean, I feel like cloud saves are still like not universal on that platform. Like, please fix the product. Please not have it run like something is terribly wrong with it, and just make like that is how you get people to sign up on that platform. Is that you make that experience competitive with the Steam experience, which it is currently not.
Yeah.
So fix that.
I think they looked at it and they're like, no, free games is how we actually get people on here. And then they did that, and that didn't work either. I'm like, oh, there's probably actually no real way to get Epic Games Store to be competitive with Steam. That actually is probably an impossible thing unless there's some implosion on Steam. And at which point, who knows if Epic would even become the secondary default there or not. Speaking of how people buy games, Best Buy is getting out of physical media, at least DVDs and Blu-rays. Best Buy is reportedly planning to exit the physical media business. They actually confirmed that to, I think, Variety or something like that. Basically, in 2024, they will no longer sell DVDs and Blu-rays. People are worried this means that they're going to make the same decision with physical games here pretty soon. Is anyone here a physical game person? You always kind of end up having these conversations. People are like, no, I buy physical games. I go to Best Buy all the time. I was talking to Dave Klein on Game Us Mornings about this, and he was saying that that's how he does things. For me, I haven't been in a Best Buy to buy physical media in probably 10 years, but I don't know. How about you all?
Every time I've stepped into a Best Buy within the last 3-5 years, I've always immediately regretted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always selling something like new. Like
crazy,
like a new thing that I didn't think they would sell. Like
at a store?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you guys are doing like toys or something now. Like, are you doing like Funkos? Or like, oh, you have that now. You're just basically like the checkout line at Blockbuster Video now. Is that what it is?
It was really weird that when Toys R Us closed, and it was like a bunch of different stores were like, maybe we're a toy store now. Like Kohl's. Kohl's is like, hey, we have a toy store.
Yo, what the fuck, y'all been in a Kohl's lately? Shit's wild.
Yeah.
Shit's wild.
That place is wild.
There's a Sephora. There's a Sephora in there now.
Yeah.
You can take your Amazon packages for return to fucking Kohl's.
Yo.
Yeah. Yep. It's neat.
It's amazing.
They
Capitalism is working great.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing wrong over there.
Can I share my dystopian idea that popped up into my head?
Please.
I see a very near future where Amazon will open up their warehouses and just call them stores. And you can just go inside and Jeff Bezos will be like, I invented brick and mortar stores, everyone. Come in. You think your Costco has hella shit? Just watch me, baby.
Get on your Sunday best, kids. We're going to the Amazon store.
And they're gonna sell hot dogs for $5 instead of $1.50.
Well, what a good deal. That's only possible through the power of the capitalist market and Amazon. That actually does it for the news. We'll see if Best Buy actually stops selling games. Probably won't do that for a couple years. Jan, I'm handing this show back over to you.
I got it. I'm holding it, and it needs to take a quick nippy nap. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the emails after this short break. You know, I also have this prediction that instead of physically mailing something and putting stamps on an envelope, we will start sending electronic mail to each other. But hey, the future is now, because we could do that right now here on the Giant Bombcast. Let's read some emails.
We did it.
Bombcast@giantbomb.com. Emails. Send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. We've actually been getting a good chunk of emails lately, and I appreciate that. It warms my heart. I feel good about it. Thank you for sending your emails. You can write about virtually any and everything and send it into the show. I read every email, but sometimes we don't get the chance to put every email on the show. First email comes from Anthony. They have a question about arcade machines and games. They write in, "Hey, duders. I always thought Katamari Damacy would be an awesome arcade machine if the controller was a big trackball. If it doesn't exist, someone should do it. Which game that's not an arcade already would the duders want, and what weird controller scheme would make it awesome? And what arcade art would Jan have a crush on?" That was Mike Minotti, right?
It's a really good call out though with the trackball Katamari. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
They also write in, "Also, I would buy a Disney soundtrack where all the songs are Mike Minotti." I don't know if they mean sung by Mike or
no. They've been manifested as a personification of Mike Minotti.
All new world, Mike Minotti. Okay, yeah, that works. Damn it. I just can't wait to be Mike Minotti. Okay, never mind.
All right, so you take Nintendo, and then you have them go knock on Sega's door, and they're like, "Hey, Sega!" In the back, you have a bunch of those, like, I know it's not really hydraulics, but like basically the equivalent of their hydraulics arcade installations that they use for like Sega Rally 2 and all that stuff. It was amazing. That stuff was really good. But you do that with Wave Race. So it's like you're on a jet ski, and as you're hitting all those waves, it's just making you feel like you're actually moving on there. And as you're taking the turns, it does a thing where when you turn left, it leans right, so it feels like you actually have those G-forces a little bit. Yeah, give me that. That would be fantastic.
I was thinking of like Advance Wars as like a game out on a physical grid, and then I just realized I was thinking of chess.
Yeah, or Warhammer. You can get some of that going there.
Oh yeah, let's get some Warhammer.
What about that like Wii U game that came out where you had to learn to sword fight for Zelda or whatever? Just do that in arcades.
Yeah.
I would just sword fight in arcades. They should let me do that.
You can do that now. You'll get the cops called on you, but you can do it.
You can use a Guitar Hero controller for anything.
That's right.
Yeah, I think you could adapt a lot of Wii and Wii U games to like an arcade fairly easy. Because that's just a light gun game.
Sure.
I don't think that would be that difficult. And I think the major problem is no one wants to play arcade games in their house. That was the only problem with the Wii U.
That's right. That was the only problem they had going there. I think I'm in N64 brain right now. Blast Core, but it's like that. And we're going with Sega again. That Sega hologram game that they had.
What the fuck is that called?
The
white dome thing.
Time Bandits. Time Feelers.
Someone's gonna get it in chat.
Time Boys. It's like you can look down on top of the little truck running into the buildings, and the buildings blow up, and they're all little holograms. I would dig that as well. It probably Time Feelers. That's right. That's what it's called.
What the hell was it called? They were like weird, like 3D shapes too.
Yeah.
Like everything was behind a cylinder or something, like a very 90s Trapper Keeper looking kind of thing.
I'm gonna have to look it up because chat doesn't have our back here. This is deeply upsetting.
It was right. Am I right? It was like that.
Guys.
It was like that weird. It was like that dome. Traveler? It was like a white dome, right?
Yeah. The white. Like it was like this white box hexagon thing, and then it had like what looked like a dome, but I think it was actually you're like looking down in a concave thing, and then the mirrors were creating the illusion of the holograms. Hologram game. I think it is just called Time Traveler. Yeah, there it is. I'll share a picture right now.
Have y'all seen?
This thing was so cool.
I was thinking the kids need to get into DDR in a mad way, but then the kids are playing this other dance game where I don't understand how any of it works because they're all just shuffling around a big ass pad and doing fun little tricks. I don't understand it at all.
I saw that too, and I was very confused because it's not the one where it's like DDR, but it's the diagonal corners, which I'm also against. That's blasphemy. But the just moving around, dancing freestyle, at least that's what it looked like to me. It didn't make any sense.
Dance Rush, yes, that is what the game I'm talking about.
I'm not good at rhythm games anyway. I can kind of do Guitar Hero because I got to use that 10-year of violin training somehow. But I can't move my physical body. The best I can do is my Beat Saber machine, my Oculus 2 that I won in a raffle. I can do a Beat Saber alone in the privacy of my own home, but the idea of going out in public and moving my body for points, No. I think we should just get rid of all of them. If I can't enjoy it, no one can.
That seems fair. But this makes me want to do DDR for Extra Life, but that's a terrible idea because I can't do that. I could do it for like an hour and a half maybe, but if I try to do that for like 10 hours, I would die.
I will gladly move my body for points.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for an excuse to dance. I don't dance enough in my life. You know what? Okay. All right. Next email.
Let's hear it. No, I want to know what.
Oh, I was going to say that for the end of the show.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Next email is a fun little quiz. Are y'all ready for this fun little quiz?
Oh,
Certainly.
shit, a quiz.
I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Hey, bombers. I know you like a good multiple choice quiz on a silly topic, so here's one for your Tuesday. Each of the 12 movies listed below stars one of Nicolas Cage, Bruce Willis, or Steven Seagal. Can you assign the correct actor to the movie based on the title and one sentence summary? I set it up so each of the actors stars in 4 of the movies.
Oh man, my strategy was going to be to say Steven Seagal for all of them.
Well, you'll be right 4 times.
Oh, that's a good point. All right, we'll see.
Which sounds like it'll make things easier, but it won't. Bonus question and answers are below. I ask everyone looking at the doc right now not to read the highlighted section. So number 1, movie title is The Perfect Weapon. An elite assassin fails to terminate his target, and he finds himself on the run from the organization that employs him.
I have to go with Steven Seagal for this one.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, that's the I don't think it's Cage. I think we could safely rule out Cage, but Bruce Willis in his career.
No, he did a million of these. Yeah,
did like 1,000 of these. But I'll side with Grubb here, and I'll err on the side of Seagal.
Bales.
I feel like I'm least familiar with Steven Seagal's oeuvre. So any movie where I'm like, I have no idea what that is, my instinct is to guess Steven Seagal.
Oh, that's going to be all of them. I could see the names of all these movies.
I've heard of none of these, so I'm guessing. I think they all are Steven Seagal. I think that we're being lied to.
And you're all correct. Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal as the director, who is the head of the evil organization. It cost $6 million to make and got $15 million in box office earnings.
Oh, does it say what year that came out?
Negative.
Okay, because I love those ones where he's like older and like it's Steven Seagal on the cover, but then they just get some random Hollywood like young dude who's like a D-list celebrity to be the actual star who does all the running around, and Steven Seagal sits in a chair for most of the movie. It's great.
I'll
it's like
do
a
that.
Really good thing he's got going on.
Number 2, Hard Kill. The star of this movie hires a mercenary team to rescue his hostage daughter and recover unspecified advanced technology.
Okay, I haven't heard of this one either, but based on the fact that there is a daughter being held hostage, I'm going Bruce Willis.
That's a good point, but I think the advanced technology is very Nick Cage coded, so I'm going to go with Hard Kill, please, or for Nick Cage for Hard Kill.
Bakalar.
It does feel like Cage is the knee-jerk reaction here as well.
That's what I'm going with.
I got to go with my gut, so it's a Cage situation.
Bailey wins. It's a Bruce Willis joint. It made.
Good job, Bailey. Getting some claps there. Well done.
100.
There's just like a lot of kids getting kidnapped in his movies.
You're right.
I don't know what to tell you.
You're right.
Yeah. It made $100,000 box office against
What was the budget?
Against an unspecified budget.
Yeah, well, when you get played on 2 screens, I don't think you're exactly entering.
Could you think we could make a movie and put it on Tubi?
Tubi? Yes.
Yeah.
Come on. What are you talking about? Of course we could.
Okay, cool. Number 3, American Siege. A sheriff is put in charge of taking down a gang of thieves who have taken a wealthy doctor hostage.
So my gut tells me Seagal because he's so horny to be a cop. That dumb fucking idiot wants to be a cop so stupidly badly. It's like he did like a whole reality TV show where like some batshit crazy precinct in Florida or something like gave him a badge, and I almost think they gave him a gun too. And they're just sort of like, hey, can you just like Steven Seagal your ass all around this alligator county in fucking Florida or something? I don't know. I could be making some of that up. I gotta think it's him, and he's like I gotta think it's Seagal. I can't see Bruce Willis doing that.
Yeah, the thing for me is American Siege, and that makes it sound like there's going to be some a patriotism there that I think Steven Seagal would be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Steven Seagal as well.
I'm in agreement with the fellas.
I could see it being Bruce Willis though, but I'm gonna say Steven Seagal.
It is indeed a Bruce Willis joint.
No.
Damn.
Bruce Willis. I mean,
is it a recent one?
Yes, it's a recent one.
Yeah, listen.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean,
none of this is fair to Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
This is bullshit to Bruce
I even
Willis.
feel I even feel bad kind of talking about it. But he would definitely be my distant second pick on that one. Where like Cage, I just don't see doing that for sure.
Its budget was $10 million, and it earned $120,000 box office.
All right,
Cool, very good.
All right, number 4, Kill Chain. 3 strangers' lives are inevitably entangled in a conflict none of them are prepared for.
Okay, this sounds vague enough and high concept-y enough that I'm going Cage, actually.
1,000,000%
I'm following
with you on
Bailey's
that.
lead on this. I trust her
Absolutely,
judgment.
Nick Cage.
Ding, 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 ding. Y'all are right.
Yes, let's go.
Kill Chain.
Kill Chain, you're right, Bailey. Kill Chain is too complex of a title for the other two to have participated in.
3
this.
strangers' lives? Like, none of those other guys are like strangers. That's dangerous.
Steven Seagal would absolutely never share the stage with 2 strangers.
No way.
Exactly, no
The
way.
complexity that this role demanded could only be satisfied by Nicolas Cage.
Budget was
Listen,
undisclosed, and it released
Love that
direct to
guy.
video.
Good for you.
Number 5, keep in mind we have 12 here. A former DEA and CIA agent,
It's Seagal.
same guy, is tasked with stopping a deal between Al Qaeda and the Mexican cartel.
Seagal.
Like, but that's the thing, right? The wild card is always Bruce Willis,
Yes,
right? Because
definitely.
of the
Because
tragic
he's
last
tragically
decade
not
or
making
so.
his own choices here.
Right.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I just saw the name of the next one. Okay, hang on.
Okay,
All right.
so I
no.
will say
Next one.
Seagal with Willis a close second.
Okay, this was Contract to Kill. You're right, Steven Seagal, who emailer says, I'm sorry to say, has a sex scene in this movie.
Oh, wait a minute.
Is this,
Yeah, baby.
So wait, is this someone? I don't know how this started circulating in the Giant Bomb community, but like someone sent that Steven Seagal Come Town thing around. Have you guys ever
What?
seen that?
I have, yes.
No.
Come down and say a
That-
podcast.
And I think that movie is the one you're talking about with the sex scene, where like they made some poor young actress have to have like on screen.
And that's the
movie
one where he
sex
does
with
sit in
him.
a chair for most of the movie, yeah.
Yeah, dude, the way he like
Right.
holds a gun is so sick. How he's just sort of like casually. There's so many amazing things in that fucking video. I highly recommend
Yeah, it's good.
watching that. But my God, it gets.
Anyone want to? Okay, so I'll tell you all the budget. You want to guess the box office for Contract to Kill?
Is it
Okay,
less than $1 million?
budget-
Dude, you can't like. Okay, go ahead.
$20,000.
Budget was $5 million.
Okay.
Box office, any guesses?
$20,000.
20.
I was gonna say.
I'll
Yeah,
say
okay, sure.
60,000.
Yeah, I'll split the difference 40.
$7,000 in box office.
Oh!
That's so fucking out of control. Here's the thing, though,
Wait,
right?
and I wasn't even close.
Box office isn't even real. Like, it's not even a thing. It is a thing now, I guess. But like, I feel like for movies like this, it's not even a thing. It's like
No, they're making all their money overseas from some like
streaming or like some weird rental
Money
in a
laundering.
motel somewhere. Like
Yeah.
Dollar
you know?
Tree DVD sales.
Exactly. Straight to Dollar Tree, baby. That's what's happening.
Number 6, End of a Gun. A DEA agent stops.
Seagal.
This game's not fun, by the way. Okay, I'm no longer having fun with this.
We have
game.
one more
That's
quiz after.
incredible.
We have another quiz this email
Let's
block.
go.
A DEA agent stops domestic abuse via murder and becomes entangled in a plot to steal $2 million from the drug lord.
So many of this is screaming Seagal that I feel like it can't be Seagal.
Right, it's a misdirection.
Yeah, it's a red herring. I'm gonna go with Bruce Willis.
I
Dude,
don't
by
believe
the
in red
logic
herrings.
by the logic of like this test and like the way the answers have shaken out, like a smart test taker would probably take Willis based on what's happened before. So I
Yes.
will side with Mr. Grubby Grubb.
Bailey?
Seagal. It said DEA agent right there.
I know, like the proof's right there, but it's
I
you know.
get it. Yeah.
Bailey's correct again.
Wow!
No,
Winning.
No financial figures have been disclosed for the film, but clearly they think $2 million is a huge sum of money. 7, Vengeance, a love story. A police officer.
Okay, so that's that. Okay, I'm just saying Seagal is out.
Yeah.
With love.
A police officer goes on a vigilante rampage after the court fails to convict rapists.
I think it's Cage.
This Vengeance, a love story screams a script that Nicolas Cage would pick up, read the title, and go, absolutely.
Yeah,
I could do this. I could
also
do
going to have to
this.
go with Cage.
Y'all are correct. Vengeance, a love story is Nicolas Cage.
Hell
Yep.
yeah.
Budget is unknown, but made $73,000 box office.
I'm sure it did. Worth every one of those dollars.
Number 8, Detective Knight, Redemption.
Wait. Is it like Detective Knight, as in Knight is this detective's last name? Or is this like
KN.
Knight?
Like
No, it's
like
not.
KN. An imprisoned police officer agrees to thwart Christmas-themed terrorists to reinstate
God.
himself into the force.
Bruce Willis.
This is clearly Bruce Willis.
Yep.
This is like the worst version of Die Hard I've ever fucking
God.
experienced.
Oh, audio listeners can't see me, but I looked at the answer description and put my hands to my mouth and
Yes, you
pure
did.
shock.
All right, I'll
why?
side with the group. I don't want to.
Yes,
Cream and
indeed, it is a
balance.
Bruce Willis joint in the second entry of the Detective Knight series.
Oh,
Budget is unknown. Box office earnings were $192,000.
All right, then.
Where's the Detective Knight series streaming?
So we've had 3 Seagals, 3 Willises, 2 Cages.
All right.
Y'all. Detective
okay?
Knight is a trilogy.
no.
Well, yeah, it's the
No.
D Night trilogy.
Yeah, with Detective Knight Independence that came out this year.
No.
No, it didn't. With Bruce Willis in it?
Yes, 2 of them came out in the
Oh,
same
man, that's
year.
so
Oh
depressing.
wait, are
Man, leave
they
that man
doing?
alone.
Yeah, like
No,
are
they probably
doing,
recorded. They probably filmed
Yeah.
most of this a couple
That's-
years ago, and then they're just like,
or
yeah.
or they're just like we shot enough. We have enough
Right,
coverage. We can
there
make
probably
a,
is
you
some
know.
of that too. Yes.
All right,
It doesn't need to make sense.
last 4 here. Sniper Special Ops. An elite sniper gets stuck behind enemy lines while fighting the Taliban.
Seagal.
I'm
If
gonna-
he's fighting with the
Seagal.
Taliban. It's Seagal.
Yes, Seagal, because I'll tell you why it's Seagal. Because a sniper barely has to move, and
Yes.
that is exactly why Steven Seagal's like, I'm gonna perch my ass up here for fucking 7 days and collect a $60,000 paycheck without having to break a sweat. That's exactly why this is Steven Seagal. I'm sorry, even if I'm wrong, I'm right.
I'm Steven Seagal as well.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, of course it's Steven Seagal.
We have closed the category on Seagal.
Thank you so much, Steven Seagal, for your service.
No financial figures released, but you'll be happy to know that Seagal gives the Taliban leader an ironic death in the film.
Cool.
Great.
All right, then.
Number-
Very
I don't
cool.
want. I don't feel like I need to investigate that.
No,
further.
yeah. Good info. Good info.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
I
Jeff,
just,
get it out.
I'm sorry, just like Steven Seagal huffing and puffing while not having to move an inch behind a sniper scope. I promise you.
He probably like does some like tactical like rolls on his side or whatever. And that's
Stunt- that
about
was a
it.
stunt double
bullet's
for
coming in.
sure.
Whoa, and he just like moves to the side like a couple inches.
Oh, I'm all, again speaking through the lens of having seen that Cumtown video, but like it's so funny to me. Oh my god.
I'm terrified I don't have the context for something
You
called
have to see
Cumtown.
this video. You have to. Link you right now.
Number 10, Stolen. A thief must rescue his daughter from the clutches of one of his former teammates.
Yep, I'm gonna go Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
I like that.
He does love to rescue his stolen daughter.
Yep.
Nicolas Cage.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Wild card. Bruce Willis. There we. Okay. So Nick Cage. Yeah, I could see Nick Cage doing that one too. Actually.
This is one of the Taken ripoffs. Budget was 35, but it made 18 at box office. All right. Last 2 here.
okay. So one of these has got to be Nicolas Cage, and one of these has got to be Bruce Willis. Then
Seems
Yeah.
like it, right?
The math
Right.
checks out. Pay the Ghost. The star's son is abducted by a ghost, and he must solve a mystery to get his son back before he's gone for good.
I like this for Cage. Just because like Cage's like, yeah, I've never worked with a ghost before.
I'm gonna go with Willis because I think this is a Sixth Sense sort of thing where they're like, we're gonna get some of that juice going.
Bailey.
I'm looking at this one and the one after and trying to decide which one feels more likely to be
cheating.
Willis and which one. No, it isn't. I'm not looking at the answers, but I'm looking at the two remaining ones and trying to figure out which one seems more Willis and which one seems more Cage. And honestly, I think that this one to me seems more modern day Cage.
Okay, Bakalar.
Going Cage.
I said Cage.
Grubb, where'd you land?
I said Bruce Willis.
It is indeed Nicolas Cage.
Wow.
Hey, pay the ghost.
Financial
Okay,
figures
that makes
were
this
also
last one truly unhinged, actually.
all right. Number 12. The fuck is this? Movie title: Cosmic Sin. A disgraced Martian general known for dropping a Q-bomb on civilians, and now he must stop an alien invasion. Well, the answer is Bruce Willis. Budget was not released, but the movie made $350,000 at box office. A little bonus fact here, and thank you, Matt in Colorado, for putting this quiz together. All 4 Steven Seagal movies were released in 2016.
Incredible. God, what a good note.
What the fuck?
So Bruce Willis played a Martian general?
Yeah.
I need to see what this looks like. What is it called?
That doesn't sound like a movie that the person who signed on for with agency. To be honest, like,
what was it again?
That was the decision I made there, where I was like, I think even Nicolas Cage would pass on this one.
This came out in 2021. It's available on Netflix right now.
Oh my God! It's a total like the front of it looks like Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh no! Wait, what is this again? What is it called?
Cosmic Sin.
Cosmic Sin. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, it's got that one. It's got Frank Grillo. Of course it does. Frank Grillo's all up in this shit.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, this also has CJ Perry, better known as Lana, formerly a WWE superstar.
Yo, they spent money on this.
Well, on the posters.
Wow, it's got a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes.
This, I'm already blown away at the production value of this thing.
It looks like a Sci-Fi Channel original to me.
Oh, I think it looks better than that.
I know Sci-Fi's got some pretty good originals.
I'm blown away. Jesus, I cannot believe this is real. What is movie making? What is film? What is anything anymore?
We're happy to announce we're releasing our Criterion collection featuring all of these movies. Please buy the box.
Oh, do you know who made Cosmic Sin?
The director or
no, the production company?
No,
Saban, the company that makes Power Rangers.
Didn't they do Turtles too?
Saban?
They done Turtles. Saban, I don't know how to say it, but yes, they did. But they did do the Power Ranger stuff.
Well, after you brought back the Green Ranger as the White Ranger, where else can you go?
That's right.
All right, a couple more emails, folks, if you'll bear with me here. Dear Bomblins, I noticed this during last week's Bombcast and thought it was worth pointing out. Starting from the first moment Jan says, hey, at the start of the show, it takes Mike 4 minutes and 36 seconds to bring up Disney unprompted, but it only took Dan 1 minute and 11 seconds to bring up wrestling. Love y'all, Zach.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what do we learn from that?
Wrestling is everywhere?
That Mike has a tiny bit more shame, I think is what that is.
Does
Just
he?
a tiny bit more.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. Well, yeah, no, because he occasionally feels scolded, and you can't scold Dan. No one's ever scolded Dan.
Oh, that would explain a lot, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
I feel like I could go a week without bringing up hockey.
You've gone weeks without bringing up hockey or keyboards.
Or keyboards, right?
Yeah.
Does that just mean I'm more interesting, or what do you think?
I think.
Maybe
lie to me. Lie to me.
No, you have multiple things you're into, because we also could have lumped in pinball. I don't remember the last time you brought up pinball.
And I just got 2 new games the other day. Have not mentioned a word.
There you go. Okay. What's another vague thing like Grubb and I are into? Bailey, Goosebumps, your cat hurting your eyeballs.
Listen, I'm so good. I love to talk about all these things, but I feel like it would be crazy if I didn't talk about my cats regularly.
I mean look at that little furry bastard.
Look at him. He's so sleepy. What you can't see is the other one is asleep right next to him, just out of frame.
Okay, wait. Some new info from Joey Gills. The director of Cosmic Sin also did the Detective Knight movies and American Siege, along with a few more of the recent Willis movies.
What do you think? You think that's
that
probably
guy
a
owes
decent
money
gig?
to the mob,
right? Like, but is that a decent gig? Like, you think?
Yeah, I mean, clearly they have a business model that's working. That's why they keep doing it over and over again. So,
and they probably have like a couple of investors who finance like all these movies, and they get enough on the return.
It's
and they're
probably
just
mostly
like, we're going to do
dentists.
this.
Dentists love to like just fund movies that are bullshit,
right?
Yeah.
How do I con someone into filming or funding a movie, huh?
I mean, it happens literally every second of every day. So.
Sorry, I don't mean con.
Charm.
Convince. Okay, charm. Yeah.
Convince.
Convince. You know, the thing that has nothing to do with the term con.
You learn something
it's
new
extra
every day.
confidence, but yeah, totally.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. You know. Like,
I think you are charming enough to pull it off, Jan. So yeah.
That's
you just got to have a good pitch. You have to have a good pitch, man. Get yourself a show Bible, a movie Bible, whatever it is, and go for it.
I'll just bring like a blank book. This also reminds me of my book idea. Anyway, last email.
Did you say you're gonna bring a blank book?
Which reminds me of my book idea.
Wait, I want to know more about this. Are you going into publishers and being like, imagine this, but filled with words?
All right. Free idea here. And then I may or may not have been low-key pressuring our own friend of the site, friend of the show, Emma Fife, of like, hey, I know that your partner deals with books and stuff. What about you let me publish a book about the Quiet Man, and it's just 200 blank pages.
Okay, buddy.
Cut the check. Come on. Tell me that isn't a great idea.
It's just a diary. You're selling a diary.
No, it's purposely blank with page numbers.
No, yeah.
Anyway,
everything the Quiet Man heard.
You should absolutely have like reviews on the back too.
Yeah.
I can do the foreword.
Riveting front to back.
Yeah.
I'll get Dave Bautista to write the foreword.
There you go.
Alex Boniello.
Oh yeah. Man,
my wife's family just met Dave Bautista yesterday.
What?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, on a ride at Disney World.
Did they talk about me?
Yeah, I think they mentioned you. They're like, "What's Jan up to?" And they're just hanging out with Jeff mostly. And then they said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." So yeah. They're out there for Make-A-Wish. People brought them out there, and then they got to. They're on the ride, and it wasn't like, oh, meet Dave Bautista. He just happened to be on the ride behind them with his family. It was very nice, apparently. So shout out to Dave.
All right, my new lofty goal in 2024, besides getting an actual company to cut the check, is to just take a picture with Dave Bautista. That's all.
We can probably make.
That's doable.
We can will
man.
that into being. Yeah.
Have him come to the Game Awards. Maybe he'll be at the Game Awards.
Kuya Dave, it's your favorite. It's your pinsan. It's your favorite cousin. We're probably related somehow. We're all related. God, I just want to shake some ring ropes right now. Anyway, last email of the show. Once again, you can send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. This is another quick mini quiz. Hey, bombers. Cooper in San Jose writes, a lot of games come out, arguably too many. So it only makes sense for some games to fall out of our memory, too. Well, today is the day you're all being put to the test. I have a list of 10 games for you all released since the PS3 360 generation, and I want to see how many of them you can remember. Here's the list. And this is simple. Do you remember it or not? First game, From Dust.
Yes.
Is this the one that was like that weird animated one that came out like just a couple of years ago or recently?
I have no idea.
No, you're talking about like the
visual
expositional one. Yeah.
Oh, are you thinking Dust and Elysian Tale?
No, I'm not thinking of that. I would have said furries way earlier in my explanation if that was the case. What is this one then, Bakalar? From
Dust was a shooter?
It looks like this is like a top-down Civ kind of game, like a 4X.
Nope.
Then it's not what I'm thinking of.
All right.
When did that come out?
When did that come out? I just had that up.
Remember me.
From Dust.
2011.
Oh, see, they're like since the 360 era. That's in the 360 era. Let's be real. Come on.
I thought it was
Be
like
precise with your language.
You're thinking of the Dust 514 or whatever, the thing that was based on EVE Online.
Oh,
That's what you're thinking of, Bakalar, right?
Oh.
The shooter, Dust 541, or yeah.
next game, if you remember, I Am Alive.
Oh, was that the Grasshopper game?
Looking. No.
I don't think I remember this one.
This was 2012. It is a third-person shooter.
No.
Okay.
Nope, don't remember it.
All right. Next one. It's not the Taylor Swift album. Folklore.
Took my joke.
Folklore.
Nothing.
Like, I have the vaguest memory of like, was that like a JRPG, like PS3 era, something like that. It's in my brain somewhere. I don't for the life of me remember what it's about, but it had like a serifed font on the cover and like some. Yeah. I can visualize the cover, but I never played it.
Yeah, Folklore 2007 action role-playing game developed by Game Republic, published by Sony Computer Entertainment.
Huh. All right then.
Consider that a win for me.
No
that
way.
got a 9, like you said, Grubb, from IGN.
Wow.
City shrouded in shadow.
Ooh, complex.
No.
No, nothing coming to mind there.
Nah, I don't remember this.
Too many
either.
video games.
Don't got it.
This came in 2017. Okay, this one I remember. Africa.
Yeah, Africa. I remember this one. Yeah.
Oh, this was like literally that. Like it was like Safari game.
Kind of. Yeah. Right.
Like taking photos on a Safari game.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, like what animal's on the cover? The zebra, right?
A zebra,
yes.
yeah.
Zebra.
Yeah.
Next game, Lonely Mountains, downhill.
Literally played this last week.
Oh.
What?
Oh, well, then you probably remember it.
I don't, though. Yeah. No, yes. This is on my Switch. It's on my Steam Deck. I play this game constantly. It's a fantastic game.
Constantly? Okay.
Yes, it's awesome. It's like one of my favorite like little indies from the last couple of years.
Next game.
Really?
I'm kind of
Lonely Mountain
bicycle
Downhill. Yep.
That's cute.
It's a little polygonal,
cool.
man.
Oh. Interesting. Okay, I recognize the box art. Okay.
Next
I think
game.
it was on my Game of the Year list the year it came out.
Oh. All right. Shit. Next game is Vane.
Fuck no.
Nope, don't got it.
Came out in 2019. It's a platformer joint. Came out on the PS4. Last 3 games here. Godfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all remember that.
It came out a few years ago.
Yeah, it was the
Which
beginning
one
of
is
this
this?
generation. Yep.
What was Godfall?
That's the one that's kind of the Diablo-like, but it had like the cyber gods, and it's not.
It's not Babylon's Fall.
It's not Babylon's Fall.
No.
Not Michael Heim's favorite game.
Not Michael Hyams' Babylon's Fall. That's right. No, this is It came out at the beginning of the PS5 though. It was like an early PS5 exclusive.
Okay. Second to last game, The Tomorrow Children.
Yep.
Yes, I remember this also being like teased at a some sort of event. I don't think I ever played it, but it was like
This one it has like
a building game.
Did it have like the Soviet
Yes.
sort of coded stuff in it? Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. But what's the team that developed this? The Tomorrow Children. Is that Conception?
Q Games.
Q Games. Right. Okay. Q Games. All right. Cool.
All right. Last game. If you remember me.
Oh, sure. Don't nod.
Yeah, don't
Yeah, that's
nod.
right.
This is City 404.
Yes, that's
One
right.
that had the hot redhead lady.
Yes,
Yeah,
like a Lilu Fifth Element adjacent looking person for sure.
Yep.
And not the movie version of not the movie tie-in Robert Pattinson game. There we go.
No, very different. This one also
Kind
does
of an
end with
abrupt
9/11.
ending.
Yeah.
I think Remember Me. I think I enjoyed that game. I think it had like really. I think I remember it being like one of those. What do you like? Still frame, but you walk around in it. Like what were those old games?
Adventure
like
game?
an old Resident Evil style, where like a fixed camera angle,
sure,
but
yeah,
it would
okay,
slowly fall. I think it had that.
I never played this.
I remember enjoying it. Yeah.
It was nominated for a BAFTA. A lot of people liked it.
Oh, dang. Well, I'm glad we remembered some of those games, and it just further highlights that there's an obscene amount of video games coming
Thanks,
out.
Coop.
Yeah, Coop, that was dope. Thanks. Can you do that again for next time? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Cooper in San Jose, and thank you to everyone that sent in your emails to the show. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. And folks, we've gotten to the shout outs. Folks, I'm happy and I'm also sad that we've calmed down on this Google Doc. You know, this used to be pure bedlam, and I think we've all calmed down. We're gonna have to think of something to spice it up. Anyway,
I think you should be grateful, Jan. I think if I recall you being, it used to cause you a great deal of stress. So
hey, you know
careful what you wish for here, but
you say it's not popping off, but there's pregnant Sonic in here, so I think it's right where it needs to be.
Nothing wrong with pregnant Sonic.
Pregnant Sonic is always popping off. Shouts out to young Elmo. Happy birthday, big dog. Truth alert. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me. Truth alert. I don't know if that's referencing something, but I needed to say
it's an SNL thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeons, Explorers of the Sky, a secret top 5 Pokemon game. How can it be Sonic Superstars if we don't have everyone's favorite superstars like Cream the Rabbit, Silver, Charmy Bee, Rouge the Bat, Chip, or Mario?
You said Cream the Rabbit?
Cream the Rabbit.
They do, so there's Cream the Rabbit.
Oh, that's a name, not an act. Got it.
Well, if you're doing it right, it's both.
6 or more Crazy Frights Bailey edition, please. Shout out Bailey's backward compatible joke. We heard you. We got you. Shout out to Game Pass for getting me Dead Space so I don't need to play Resident Evil 4 since I did in 2005.
That wasn't me.
Shouts out to Mike being blessed by a priest dressed as Goofy. You fuck knows. Hey knows. Fuck you. Shouts out to Rich Mitch and Dr. Daddy. Shouts out to Giant Carlac. Shouts out to Bailey's massive body check to the GB boys and most of the viewer base by calling the crew old men during Phasmophobia. I had to sit down, and not just because my back hurt. Shouts out to the Road to El Dorado is on Netflix.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Sigma Male.
El Dorito. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me tell
Dorito.
Let me tell you. The Road to El Dorado. Sigma Male gaming tips for your thighs. Thigh-high socks will keep your legs warm while gaming. If the weather is hot, high fishnet stockings will allow your legs to breathe, keeping you cool while gaming. Skirts also offer superior ventilation. Let's hope Jan can find good coffee in LA. Ubisoft's Just Dance Infinite, also Just Dance 2024, coming to a store near you on October 24. Shouts out to Ubisoft's, I guess, marketing team for getting in the shouts out section. Women rock, parentheses, Bailey rocks, plus please watch Starship and or Troopers, everyone. Shouts out to 2023 being the best year of gaming, but not having enough time to play them all. Shouts out to Feet.
Not for free.
I'm not going to read 21 because we can stop talking about Steven Seagal now for a good chunk of time.
You still gotta watch that video though. Yes, but you still have to
go
watch
on break.
Yeah.
22. Bailey streams Skull Island: Rise of Kong. Bailey streams Skull Island: Rise of Bong. Gashadukuro Gang Unite. And finally, shouts out to It's weird how everything bagel is a flavor now, like for chips and stuff.
No, it's not. It is not weird. It's delicious.
I thought you were saying it wasn't a flavor now, and I was like, no, it definitely is.
Yes, I mean
you see it everywhere.
It's the best. It's
I love
the
it too.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like what? You have a problem with garlic and onion and poppy seeds?
Are you afraid of flavor? Were you a baby?
Seriously,
Yeah.
What's the best flavor? All of them.
This doesn't even say it's bad. It just these are like it's weird, and it's like okay, but it's not. It's a good thing.
I got like cashews the other day that were everything flavored, and they were phenomenal.
I think
I'll
we
get
have
back
too
on the
many
egg bagel tip. Sorry, go ahead, Jan.
We got too many truffle flavored things.
Truffle overload was a real problem for us.
Wrong statement as well. But
where were you when we got overloaded on truffle flavored items? Folks, what we got going on this week?
Video games.
So many video games. Well, the new Honest Game trailer dropped an hour and 38 minutes ago. You should watch it. I worked really hard on it.
Everyone go support Bailey.
Through an injury to write these good jokes.
Good job. I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
I played Sonic Superstars with Mike this morning, and that was fun. In that it was fun to hang out with Mike and have him have energy in the morning because he got a CPAP machine. That's odd. So you want to see that for yourselves. And then I think there's a chance that Skull Island, Rise of Kong, whatever it's called, will happen later today if you are watching this live. Dan's going to play some of that. But that's up in the air, though. That might not happen because I guess he's having power issues. And then tomorrow, what do we have happening? God, it's Wednesday
Major
tomorrow.
Mitch may be
Light
going
Club.
for his last tour. I can't
Wow.
believe we've gone to the end of that game already.
Salute that, Mitch.
Yep.
There will be a Jeff's this week. Hopefully, we had a bit of a scheduling hiccup, but hopefully by the end of the week, that new episode will be out. And I am still all about Cowboy Bebop. Word on the street, smoke on the street is that it's about to leave Netflix. So figure out your shit.
That's one that's like actually worth just getting the Blu-rays of. Like,
Go to your local Suncoast and buy it.
Yeah,
go to your
Suncoast.
library and rent the Blu-rays right now.
There you go.
And then-
Absolutely. We're on Thursday. We're doing a Thursday noon Central Time throwdown. Actually, I think it's happening at 1 p.m. Central Time, but that's the name of it for Halo Infinite. So get your Halo downloaded. There's a new season that is coming out today. Apparently, a lot of fun. So we're going to play some of that, and then we'll have Voicemail Dump Truck, and then Friday Night Forking. For some reason, I'm getting a request to be on that. They're saying, "Hey, show up for that." So I
you
don't
know
what's gonna
why
happen.
you have to be on that. We need to help guide our friend the Windbag and make sure that he gets home safely.
I'll do what I can.
Archive of last week's Friday Night Forking is going up on the site. Game mess for the rest of the week, correct,
That's
Grubb?
right. That's correct.
And then on UPF this week, we'll be playing Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Brothers Wonder. A little double header for you over there on Friday. As Bailey mentioned, new Honest Game Trailers is out. Go watch that. Go watch the homies across GameSpot as well. Go hug yourself, everyone. Hey, it's a really tumultuous time. So go be nice to your friends. Go be nice to your family members. And you know what? Most importantly, go be nice to yourself. I've been Jan. She's been Bailey. He's been Jeff. He's also been Jeff. And you continue to be smoking hot today. And I say that with respect. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast.